Testing. Good evening and welcome to Peekskill Stadium, home of the Peekskill Red Devils, for tonight's varsity baseball contest between the Alexander Hamilton Red Raiders and your Peekskill Red Devils. We would like to remind all student fans to show team support by using proper language and by respecting the judgment of coaches and umpires. Thank you. Now, before we do the regular starting lineups, we have a special presentation tonight. This is senior night for our Peekskill Red Devils, and we have 4 seniors we'd like to acknowledge. When I announce your name, just come to home plate or the baseline or whatever you like. We have Chris Melendez, number 15, who's a 4-year varsity player, 3-year starter. Number 9, Connor Terrell, 4-year varsity player. He will be attending Westchester Community College. Jamie Lent, 2-year varsity player. And Anthony Murphy, a 4-year varsity player. All section last year as a junior. He will be playing baseball next year in Mercy College. We just want to thank the seniors for all their efforts. It takes a lot of time to be a student athlete, and we all appreciate everything you've done for us. And we wish you the best for the rest of the season, and good luck in the future, guys. And now you guys can go back to the dugout, and we'll do the regular pregame.
And hello again, everyone, and welcome to Peekskill High School Baseball. I'm Joe DeChristopher, and joining me is Kevin Dwyer, and we're here at Peekskill Stadium for tonight's game between Peekskill and Alexander Hamilton. Coach Chris Salomon's Red Devils have a record of 1-14, and Coach Bill Dwyer's Red Raiders are 2-11-1. And Kevin, it's senior night here. It's a beautiful night for baseball. Peekskill's lone win was against Alexander Hamilton, so this is a bit of a rematch. And the Devils are looking to get victory number 2.
Yeah, and as we're finishing, or rather starting up, Dix, the moms are coming out on the field as well, and so it's a good night for the seniors and the families to celebrate those that have played ball here. I think it's a great tradition. I'm pretty sure it happened when our kids were playing ball. But the lone win, as you pointed out, that the Peekskill Red Devils have was against Alexander Hamilton. It was a 16-3 victory. The winning pitcher is the same pitcher who is pitching tonight, Anthony Murphy, in his 6 innings of work back in that game, had 13 strikeouts, and so he's looking to add to that total tonight. And hopefully Peekskill can get a win, and we'll see how it goes. Mike will now give us the starting lineups.
We'll now introduce the starting lineups for each team. When announced, please go to your respective baseline in front of your dugout. First, for the visiting Alexander Hamilton Red Raiders. Leading off, number 3, third baseman Samuel Sanchez, number 3. Batting second, number 5, catcher Daniel Valley Ortiz, number 5. Batting third, number 13, shortstop Romello Bond. In the cleanup spot, number 8, center fielder Dowdy Payano, number 8. Batting fifth, number 4, left fielder Hugo Ortiz, number 4. Batting sixth, number 6, first baseman Gino Gutierrez, number 6. Batting seventh, number 12, pitcher Brandon Machado, number 12. Batting eighth, number 7, right fielder Zachary Washington, number 7. And batting ninth, number 1, second baseman Douglas DeLeon, number 1. The rest of the Alexander Hamilton team is welcome to join their teammates. Head coach for Alexander Hamilton is Bill Dwyer. Now for your Peekskill Red Devils. Leading off, number 27, center fielder Nihilus Jacob, number 27. Batting second, number 24, shortstop Jamie Lent, number 24. Batting third, number 25, pitcher Anthony Murphy, number 25. In the cleanup spot, number 21, catcher Lisandro Guzman, number 21. Batting fifth, number 2, third baseman John Guichardo, number 2. Batting sixth, number 15, first baseman Chris Melendez, number 15. Batting seventh, number 36, right fielder Cortez Burris, number 36. Batting eighth, number 7, second baseman Jared Gillio, number 7. And batting eighth, left fielder, number 8, Alfonso Gordine, number 8. Head coach for your Red Devils is Chris Solomon. Head assistant coach is Sean Dwyer. Now the rest of the Red Devils can join their teammates. And everyone now please stand for the national anthem. Say thank you to my girlfriend, Carrie Underwood, for performing the national anthem. We'd also like to welcome umpires Kevin Riley and Paul Pesavento. Now let's play ball.
Okay, Mike, thank you very much. Joe DeChristopher here with Kevin Dwyer for tonight's game, and you heard Mike announce who the umpires were. Paul Pesavento behind the plate, and Peekskill's own Kevin Riley, who will be doing the bases tonight for tonight's game. Kevin, a lifetime Peekskill resident and a graduate of Peekskill High School and Peekskill Leopoldo Little League. And we'd also like to mention that Kevin will come up to Little League every year and do a couple games as a volunteer for free, giving back to his league and his community. And just one of those real great guys, Kevin Riley. Kevin,
I've known Kev for quite a while myself, and yes, I'm glad he's here. He'll do a great job on the baseline, of course. Just about Anthony Murphy, our starting pitcher. As I said, he was the pitcher of record in the previous Hamilton victory. Murph is 1-2 on the season, and is looking maybe to play some ball next year, but I'm not quite sure. He said to me that he'd be heading off to Mercy College, and I'm not quite sure if he's playing ball at Mercy or not. But he's warming up, and it looks pretty good. It's kind of warm out there tonight, so hopefully these guys will be able to handle the heat. And as we talk about every game, we can see the sun and the shadows already creeping over the edge of the field as we're starting a little bit later than usual. Usually a 4:30 start. Here we are almost 6 o'clock or a little bit after 6.
Yeah, the 6 o'clock start, and so the sun factor will take place in the first few innings, but probably by the third inning or so, the sun will set down behind the mountains. It is a perfect night to play. It is warm, but it is breezy. The flag is blowing from left to right, blowing straight across pretty much, not in or out. So that will keep things down. As the sun goes down, it'll cool off. We're right down here by the river at Peekskill Stadium. There you get a good look at Murph.
Yeah, Mike Sabini just handed me a note, Dix, that he was told that Murph is going to be playing ball at Mercy next year, so that's good for him.
Excellent. Good for Anthony. He's been a really good baseball player from the time he was 8 or 9 years old in the Peekskill Leopoldo Little League, one of the better players in the league, and played 4 years on the varsity. He's a big boy, about 6'2", probably goes about 200 pounds, maybe a little bit more. His dad, Tony, was a great basketball player and baseball player at Peekskill. Tony's about 6'4", 6'5". So Anthony has good genes. He's a big, tall left-hander, throws hard. We'll see how much he mixes in his curveball. Has the one victory over Hamilton, but he is their ace. I think he's their best pitcher, and he'll be looking to get victory number 2 for the Red Devils here today.
And as you know, Dix, I've been teaching at Peekskill for just about 30 years now. So I was in the building, though I didn't teach Murphy Sr., but I did have young Anthony Murphy in class. So If you've had it long enough, as I'm sure you might have even in Little League, you get the kids of the previous kids.
Kids of kids. Yep, we've seen that. And here's Anthony getting ready to pitch to Sam Sanchez, the third baseman, leadoff hitter here for the Alexander Hamilton Red Raiders. Umpire Paul Pesavento behind the plate. Kevin Riley, as we mentioned, down at first base. So we're just about ready to begin tonight's game. Senior night here at Peekskill Stadium. Perfect night for baseball. First pitch in there for a strike. Fastball to Sanchez. Sanchez, the third baseman, setting the defense for Peekskill. Chris Melendez at first. Jared Gilio at second. And here's a ground ball to third to Guichardo. And a throw to first to Melendez in time for the first out.
2 pitches, 1 out. We always talk about pitch count, particularly at the high school level. And if Murph can keep it down, he can certainly last the whole game. As we said, the last Hamilton game, he made it through 6 innings. And hopefully he could make it through that many or more today.
Guichardo had to go high to get that one, but fielded it nicely and threw the runner out. And the second batter is Dan Valle Ortiz, the catcher for the Red Raiders. And finishing up the defense for Peekskill with Jamie Lynn at short, Guichardo at third, Gordine, Jacob, and Burris left to right in the outfield. Lizardo Guzman is the catcher, and Anthony Murphy on the mound for Peekskill. So 1 out so far here in the top of the first. Valle Ortiz, the hitter. Pitch a little bit high. 3-0 now to Ortiz, Valle Ortiz. Outfield pretty much straight away, infield straight away. And the 3-0 right in there for a call, strike 1. And that pitch high. So Valle Ortiz draws a walk. He's the first base runner of the game. He's there with 1 out. And that'll bring up Romello Bond, the shortstop for Hamilton.
Now at the plate, Alexander Hamilton, number 13, shortstop. Romello Bond, number 13.
Murph working from the stretch. Good size lead by Valle Ortiz. Not going. First pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. 0-1. Take Murph mainly fastball so far. Throw over. Ooh. Little quick step back and throw over by Murph. Ortiz back in time. Pitch inside. 1-1. Just miss on the inside corner.
And as a left-handed pitcher, the pickoff throw to first, a little bit easier to disguise. He doesn't have to make a turn or a move. He can just, as you say, step off and fire it right over.
Here's a fly ball, left field. Alfonso back toward the line and out of play. Foul ball. And as a base runner, it's harder to pick up, obviously, because, if there's a right-handed pitcher, you can kind of read his feet. He's got to turn to make the throw over. The lefty has to step toward first, but, he won't give that move away till very late in the delivery. So as a base runner, you have to be much more careful with the lefty than you can be with the righty. But it looks like Valle Ortiz had good leads over there each pitch. Not going. This one fouled straight back. On deck batter is Dore Payano, the center fielder. Runner goes, pitches high for a ball, the throw down into center field, not in time, and Valle Ortiz will hold at second. So good pitch to handle, a high strike, or high ball rather, for Guzman, but he threw it a little to the right side. Jared not able to field it, but backed up nicely by Niles to hold the runner at second. So Valle Ortiz at second now with 1 out. And Bond trying to pick him up. Gilio holds. Here's a foul ball straight back. Good back up on that play by by Niles. Automatically you think throw into center field, runner's going to get to third, but Niles backed it up nicely and held the runner at second. It's just off the corner.
Having not pitched myself, but you certainly being a catcher, the runner on second is somewhat distracting to the pitcher, I'm sure, because he always wants to keep an eye on him. And we see Murpho is looking back just before the pitch.
Here's a pop-up on the infield, and Murph's going to take it himself. He calls for it, and he makes the play for the second out. You know, the old saying, pitcher never takes a fly ball. Not true at this level. He's a center fielder also. We saw Murph make some nice plays the other day on our last broadcast. He's an athlete. He's a fielder, so not like the old days where the pitcher would run away and someone else has to run in 40 feet to catch the ball. It's right to him, make the play, which he did nicely. So,
but even on that play, the shortstop, Jamie Lent, was right behind him, so it could have gone either way. But Murph had called it from the get-go, and Lent was very smart to get out of Murph's way.
Here's Payano now with 2 out and a runner at second. First pitch in there for a strike.
Payano is the leading batter for the Red Raiders. His average coming into today's game was a cool 400.
Right. Pitch inside, 1-1. Valet Ortiz on second. He drew a walk, stole second. He's there with 2 outs. We're here in the top of the first. Peekskill High School Baseball. Joe DeChristopher and Kevin Dwyer bringing the game to you. Here's a swing and a miss for strike 2. Pitch down, looked like a little curveball down into the dirt. See if Murph goes back to that. Fastball fouled off to the right side. Got him in on his hands. Good pitch by Murph, going hard and in with 2 strikes.
Just comparing pitching and pitching styles, last game we did here on Tuesday with Peekskill versus Hen Hud, the Hen Hud pitcher had one of those really high kicks. You called it more of a herky-jerky type of motion. Murph seems to be a little bit steadier, a little less movement with his front leg.
Here's a pop-up to the left side. Cuchardo underneath it and makes a play for the 3rd out. So Murph gets out of the inning with no harm done. Leaves the runner at second. No hits. 1 runner left. And in the middle of the first inning, it's Alexander Hamilton 0 and Peekskill coming to bat.
Just a comment about the Red Raiders coach, Bill Dwyer. As you know, Dix, I had a brother, Bill Dwyer. Sadly, Bill has passed away. But today would be Bill Dwyer's birthday, my brother's birthday. So I'm not sure if it's a good sign for the Peekskill team or a good sign for the Red Raiders team that Bill Dwyer's birthday today. Coach of the Red Raiders might get that luck.
I think you can take that either way. I think that's a Peekskill connection, and we'll throw it their way for your brother Bill, and happy birthday to Bill.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Brandon Machado on the mound for Alexander Hamilton. Right-handed pitcher. Not a big guy, slight in stature. He'll be working for Hamilton here today. See him warming up.
Coach Dwyer, before the game, Dix gave me some new statistics for the team. But more importantly, yesterday, Peekskill had a game against Henrik Hudson over there. They usually go home and home, but there was a gap between the Tuesday game here against Hen Hud and yesterday. But unfortunately, yesterday the Sailors took it to Peekskill 15-0.
Well, we'll talk about the game we did on the air on Tuesday a little bit later. But you know, Hen Hud had some good hitters on Tuesday, and Peekskill going with Jamie Lent, who probably is their number 2, Mercer number 1, Connor, who pitched yesterday, probably their 3rd pitcher. And Connor, in all his years in Little League, threw strikes. Didn't throw hard, but when you get to this level, if you throw strikes and you don't mix it up and you don't throw real hard, you might get hit a little bit. But Connor is a real fine player, has done really, really well, improved as he has gone from a young minor leaguer in Little League right through the high school level. And it's good to see him sticking with it. And actually, he's senior day today, graduates this year. Real nice kid, and we wish Connor a lot of luck.
Right, as we pointed out in that last game, unfortunately for Jamie, all 9 of Henrik Hudson's games, the one we did on Tuesday, all 9 runs rather came in the second inning. And we talked about how he was getting hit hard, but in the game of inches, outfielders just missing.
3 times.
3 times. An infielder going off the glove, trying to jump up. So anything could have changed that game as a matter of inches, but I think you're right. He was throwing strikes, and they were hitting him. And then he settled down a little bit, and after the second inning, I don't recall that they hit him that hard at all.
No. He had a couple 1, 2, 3 innings. They did score a run off of Chris Millen. Here goes the sprinklers again.
Oh.
We had this on Tuesday, the human rain delay.
Joe.
Sprinklers are on, Joe. So Joe will take care of that. He got to run down and.
I almost mentioned it earlier.
We were
hopefully the timer does not go off again, but I was remiss in doing so, reminding Joe that we wanted to make sure the sprinklers didn't go off. They're on automatic timer, and is it 6:15?
It is exactly 6:15.
That's exactly the
they
time
went
on
off
Tuesday
the
they
other
went
night,
off, so
okay.
we shouldn't be surprised, but it'll take just a few minutes.
And while we got a minute, let's talk about that game on Tuesday a little bit more. Matt Marusic pitched a really nice game. Forehand Hunt struck out, I believe, 9. At one point had 7 in a row.
Yes, we spoke about that. Yep, he was on fire then, and we also talked about how he got into a rhythm and just kept getting the ball and throwing, rather than taking time in between. And you as a catcher, had indicated that to me, that if a pitcher is in a rhythm, he doesn't want to slow down. He wants to get it and go.
Matt gave up 2 hits, I believe, in the game, and they were back-to-back hits. One was a double by Niles and then a long home run by Anthony Murphy, and that was it. That was Peekskill's 2 hits and their 2 runs. It was a long shot by Murphy into the parking lot in right field, but Marusic was excellent beyond those two hits. He really threw nice games, and Peekskill, they held him after that one bad inning. They did a nice job. They did. Chris Melendez did come in the 7th and did give up 1 run, but the defense tightened up a little bit, and but Hen Hud, the 9-run inning was just a little bit too much to overcome.
Too much to overcome, absolutely, unfortunately.
All right, here's Niles to lead it off for Peekskill here in the bottom of the first. Niles Jacob.
Number 27, center fielder Niles Jacob, number 27.
And Niles playing center field tonight, played left field the other night. First pitch high and inside to Niles. His younger brother Noah playing on the modified team, and we understand they got a pretty good team this year, and they'll be the next group to come through to Coach Salem and Sean.
Yeah, I had a chance to come down. My nephew, Johnny Lively, is on that modified team, and they did look pretty good. I was very impressed by the knowledge of the game and their hitting, too.
Pitch a little low. 2-1 to Niles now. Niles played for Coach Zaboris in Little League on the Rotary, and his brother Noah was on the team, and John Lively and Scott Zaboris, and they won 3 or 4 Major League Championships in a row. That one fouled straight off Niles.
Yes,
like
off his helmet.
Off his bat, then off his helmet. Let's get a little hope that didn't hit him in the face. No, got him in the helmet. Thank God. That could have been real bad. That one slipped.
That one got away.
3-2. Now to Niles Jacob. Leading it off here in the bottom of the first for Peekskill. It is no score. Just getting started. On deck is Jamie Lent, shortstop tonight for Peekskill.
And then there's the aforementioned Scott Zaboris is pitching for that modified team.
That pitch in there for a call strike 3 on the outside corner. So Machado gets Niles on strikes for the first out. Right on the outside corner. 2 strikes. Got to be ready to hit.
Shortstop Jamie Lent, number 24.
Now Niles will go back and say, listen, I thought it was outside, but listen, if you got 2 strikes, he's calling the outside corner. So at least, he's the sacrificial lamb. He's the first guy up. He's got to get the best look and give the rest of the info to the rest of the players. So part of what your duties are as a leadoff batter. Here's Jamie now. Jamie playing shortstop tonight. He was the starting pitcher in the game the other night.
Hit his bat. Oh,
And-
no, the
oh,
umpire
hit
said it must have hit his hands
Jamie. So
on
Jamie
the
will
bat.
go down on
Let's take a look.
maybe his elbow.
From the replay Mike has given me, it looks like if it's not off the bat, it must be off his fingers because it doesn't look like it hit him at all.
Red Devils, number 25.
The umpire is now going to check
Anthony
with
Murphy, number
umpire
25.
Riley to see if perhaps he didn't see what he thought he saw. And it did a reverse call. It was a foul ball
Was a foul
off
ball,
the
so,
bat,
all right,
not
so,
off any part of Jamie Lynn. Thank goodness for Jamie.
Yeah.
My bad, I spoke too soon.
All right, so Jamie is back up to the plate. The count, I believe, is 1-1 now.
And, of course, Jamie has no obligation to say, hey, that didn't hit me.
No,
It's
definitely
the
not.
umpire is in charge. The umpire makes that call. The umpire makes that call. But from Mike's replay, and thanks, Mike, for that replay, it certainly seemed it was off the bat, not off any part of Jamie.
Here's a curveball grounded to third and bobbled by Sanchez, and Jamie will reach on the infield hit. We'll give him a hit on that. That was hit pretty slowly. Sanchez did charge, had it in his glove, but was not able to hold on. Big curveball by Machado.
And then the replay, I noticed Jamie slipped coming out of the batter's box, too.
For your Red Devils, number 25, pitcher Anthony Murphy.
Here's Murph now, big left-handed hitter. As we said, hit a long home run the other night.
And that was his third home run. His first one here at the stadium this season, so we had shots of his dad going out to get the ball for him, and I talked to Murph in school afterwards, and he said he does have it
Okay,
for part of his collection.
throw over, not in time. Machado, a right-hander, and as we mentioned before, a little bit easier to read the right-hander's move to first. You watch his right heel. If his right heel moves, he's coming over. If his left foot goes up in the air, he's got to go home. There's the move, over again, and ball gets away, but Jamie will hold it first. One out, runner on first, bottom of the first inning. Alexander Hamilton versus Peekskill, no score. Alexander Hamilton, Red Raiders out of the Elmsford area.
Pretty small school, as I recall, too. I remember when I was in school playing against Alexander Hamilton. I'm not sure of the exact enrollment, but they're kind of small. I'm
I
surprised
think
they're
we
even
never
up here.
played them. No, we never played Ham. Some American Legion summer ball. There was the Elmsford Legion team was a combined team of Hamilton and some surrounding schools, Scarsdale in that area.
We have a stolen base.
Jamie Steele second on the pitch. Little inside to Murph. 1-0 to him now. Brandon Machado on the mound for Alexander Hamilton. There's one out, runner at second. There's a fly ball, foul, and out of play. Pitch a little bit down and away, and no strikes. I think Murph may want to get something more he could drive. Don't want to be too over-aggressive. Murph's got a really nice swing, though. He really has a nice lefty, natural swing. Here's the 1-1. Pitch high, 2-1. Machado doesn't look like he throws real hard. He's thrown that big curve up there a couple times, so he's going to try to get you out with slow stuff, and slow stuff can work. You get batters out in front, get a little movement on it, move the ball around, can be effective. Here's a line drive to center field that will drop for a base hit. Jamie will be waved home, and he will score.
And Murph trying for second on the throw. In
Murph
safely.
goes down to second on the throw. So Murph with an RBI single. Base hit right up the middle. Center fielder Payano looked like he might have a play on it. But the ball dropped in front, and Coach Sal, that ball was way outside. Murph went out and got it.
And smart base running by Anthony when the throw comes into home plate to get Jamie. He scoots out to second base.
Guzman, number 21.
Now here's Lissandro Guzman, the catcher. Peekskill leads 1-0. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Murph down at second now. Yeah, good smart base running. Throw goes home. Take that base automatically. I wasn't sure if Coach Solomon was going to send Jamie. He kind of waited because it was a line drive, but he had him going the whole way. Here's Murph trying to steal third, and he'll get there. So Murph, for a big kid, runs well. As you can see there. Gets to third base with one out now, so he can score. Catcher with the good slide step, and Murph had that stolen all the way. Kevin Riley right on top. You see that? Kevin right on top of that call. There's a foul straight back. 0-2 now to Guzman. Pitch outside, trying to waste one on the outside part. Brandon Machado. Infield is up at short, even at first and back at second and third. And that pitch is inside, did not hit.
I lost sight of that. I thought it was going to hit him, but it just dropped right off the table.
Down by his feet. Got that big curve. Val Ortiz, the catcher, blocking it up, squaring it up nicely, keep the runner at third. Good distance between home plate and the backstop here, so a good opportunity to score from third. That pitch a little low. Three and two now to Guzman. Trying to pick up this run at third base. And he swings and misses, probably at ball 4.
That one he wanted to hit like Murph hit and way outside. Let's see.
High and
High
outside.
and outside. He saw Murph take one of those to center, so he was looking to do that himself, but unfortunately a swing and a miss.
John Guichardo, number 2.
Here's gone John Guichardo now, the third baseman. He's up with 2 outs and Murph now at third. Brandon Machado has 2 strikeouts here in the first so far. That pitch a little high, 1-0. Chris Melendez on deck for Peekskill.
Would seem if the Peekskill hitters would be maybe a little bit patient instead of swinging those pitches outside, they might get a couple of walks.
That pitch low, 2-0.
And we have an extra outfielder there in center field with
It's the short field.
Nihilus. One of our Canadian geese has landed.
2-0. That one foul back. 2-1 now to Guichardo. 2-out runner at third. Bottom of the first inning, Peekskill leads 1-0. Anthony Murphy with an RBI single. Drove home Jamie Lent, who had reached on an infield hit and stole second. Murph stole third. He's there now for John Guichardo. That pitch on the outside corner, 2-2 now. So Guichardo with 2 strikes has to protect that outside part. Umpire Paul Pesavento using that, calling that outside. Here's a curveball popped up on the infield. Bond underneath it and makes the play. Battling the stun, but made the play to retire the side. So Peekskill does score 1 run on the RBI single by Murph. And after 1 run, they lead Alexander Hamilton 1-0.
Hugo Ortiz, Gino Gutierrez, and Brandon Machado.
Again, I think just looking at that inning, Dix, if Peekskill batters could perhaps learn to be a little bit more patient. What you said earlier about, the Hamilton pitcher is Machado?
Brandon Machado.
He's not throwing fast. A lot of his pitches are outside. I heard Mike Miner on that one of those last pitches kind of suggest, well, that was a little bit outside. But if they're patient, it seems like perhaps they can get some walks.
And Guzman swung at a pitch that was a little high and outside and probably would have been ball 4. So maybe that's what Coach Salem and Coach Sean are talking to the guys about when they come in. Listen, let's be a little more patient, take a couple pitches, or at least, in the least, when you are ahead in the count, hit a pitch that you want. Don't help the pitcher out. Murph walking out to the mound. This is a rematch, as we mentioned before, between Peekskill and Hamilton. Murph pitched the first game. Do we have anything on that game from the previous?
Well, it was the only Peekskill victory. As we know, it was a 16-3 Peekskill victory. And Murph told me just before the game, in over 6 innings, he had 13 strikeouts.
Okay, so a good victory down there, I guess, at Alexander Hamilton, down in Elmsford. Murph working here in the second inning.
You had mentioned for his size, Murph can move pretty quickly. My own son, Sean Dwyer, who's Coach Dwyer here, was a lefty pitcher as well. Unfortunately, not graced with the speed, perhaps my speed. He and another name you might remember, Donnie Smith.
Sure.
Whenever they played ball together, we would call them on the sidelines the organ grinder and the piano man, because it seemed like when they ran, they were carrying large bits of furniture like pianos and organs on their back. So hope Sean doesn't mind me sharing that story with you. But Murph doesn't seem to be a organ grinder or a piano man.
No.
He seems to have a little bit more speed than that.
Murph runs well. Murph also a basketball player. So a real good athlete, athletic, with good speed. Okay, leading it off for Hamilton is Hugo Ortiz, the left fielder, against Murph here. Top of the second, Peekskill leads 1-0. First pitch down low, 1-0 to Hugo Ortiz. That pitch high, 2-0. Neither team using the DH tonight, Kevin, and we did see Hen Hud use it the other night.
I'm looking at the bench. I'm not sure how many folks are extra for Peekskill anyhow, but seems like Murph is rearing back rather, and really putting a lot behind these pitches. Or in the first inning, he was a little bit less.
That pitch swung on and missed. 2-2. I think Connor and Jason Santana are the lone
two on the bench.
Subs for Peekskill.
Murph calling his left fielder in a couple of steps.
2-2. Flied out to right field, and it will drop in front of Cortez for a bloop single for Ortiz. So he leads off the second here with a base hit. Murph did a good job of getting in on the hands of Ortiz, but he fought it off and dropped it behind the first baseman and in front of right fielder
Alexander Hamilton, number 6, first
Cortez Burris.
Gutierrez, number 6.
Gino Gutierrez now the first baseman, the hitter for Hamilton. Ortiz at first with nobody out. So Murph working from the stretch again. Outfield remains pretty much straight away. First pitch a little high, 1-0. Pitch outside, 2-0. So Murph having a little trouble finding the plate here in the second inning. Just needs to settle down, find his groove. (3-0) outside. Fake start by Ortiz there. Took one step, did not go. 3-0 now to Gino Gutierrez, the first baseman for Hamilton. Runner at first, nobody out. Here in the top of the second inning. Pitch right down the middle for one strike. Throw down, not in time. Sardo Guzman throwing in behind the runner.
That's a smart snap throw every once in a while, just to keep everybody honest.
So Murph gets his strike now, 3-1. Wants to work back from there, try to come back, get this batter. And the pitcher, Brandon Machado, on deck for Hamilton. Here's the 3-1, high and inside, ball 4. Runner was going, but he reaches second on the walk. So it's first and second now with nobody out. Machado, the batter.
Now at the plate, Alexander Hamilton, number
See
12.
if Coach
pitcher,
Bill
Brandon
Dwyer
Machado,
elects
number
to
12.
bunt the runners over or hit away. Peekskill's going to play it even at the bag at third. And now he backs up, so they're going to play it regular. Not looking for the bunt. Here's Melendez now. He will play up in front of the runner. not squaring, and first pitch is high for ball one. So Murph continuing to struggle with his control. 1-0 to the opposing pitcher, Brandon Machado. Runners at first and second with nobody out here in the top of the second. Pitch outside, 2-0. Murph seems to be consistently wild to the outside part of the plate. As a catcher, you may want to move your glove, over-exaggerate, and move it toward the inside part just to help him with his location. And still to the outside part, 3-0. So his release point definitely is a little off. Releasing to the first base side.
And it seems to me, not that I ever pitched in my life, but it seems more so now he's also falling off the mound a little bit to his right. I don't know if that, with the release point high and outside, and if he's falling off to the other side, if that makes the ball tend to go outside.
Well, I think also from the stretch, he may not be as comfortable working from the stretch. Here's the 3-0 in there for a call, strike one. So again, he's got to do the same thing, kind of work his way back, try to get this batter. And that one's high, ball four. So the bases are loaded now for Hamilton here with nobody out. Ortiz moves to third, Gutierrez to second, and Machado on at first. And Zachary Washington, the right fielder, is the hitter now.
Number 7, right fielder Zachary Washington, number 7.
Certainly not a position Murph wants to find himself in after securing the lead for Peekskill at the bottom of the first inning. Peekskill playing it in a little bit to try and cut the run off at home, or
in at the corners and back at second and short. They'll look to turn two. The corners will come home, but Murph needs to throw strikes here. And he starts off with a strike. There we go. That's what you want to do. First pitch strikes. Get on top of the batter. He's down near the bottom of the order. And he's able to go from the windup here with the bases loaded. So he's a little more comfortable from the windup than he is from the stretch. 1-1 now. And that all-important pitch count. Moving up a little bit here in the second. That pitch swung on and missed. 1-2. I wouldn't do anything different. I'd come back with the same pitch. Washington seemed to be a little bit behind it. Try to get this batter. And he gets that outside corner call. So we've seen that on both sides from umpire Paul. So now you, as a hitter and as a player, you got to let everyone know he's calling that outside corner. So that's a big out for Murph, a big strikeout. And here is Douglas DeLeon, the second baseman. He's up now with bases loaded and one out. Left-handed hitter. Corners remain in. Pitch a little outside, 1-0. Murph continue to work from the windup. Pitch high and inside, 2-0. So Murph strictly fastballs here, just trying to find the plate again. That went in for a call strike. 2-1. That pitch in there, call strike 2. Like Murph's windup with the feet even, spread apart, much like Johan Santana. I think a lot of younger kids have copied that motion. Very simple. Just missed on the inside corner. Full count now.
no place to put him, Dix.
No place to put him. There is only one out, so runners do not get the automatic start.
But it is a compact motion that Murph does seem to have. No excessive movement. It's just if the arm is outside or he falls off to the other side and he walks.
Pitch high for ball 4. So he does walk the run in. That ties the game.
And Coach Salem coming out of the dugout to have a little chat with Murph. as you pointed out, with the pitch count rising, and I guess Connor pitched yesterday. I'm not sure who's available to come in to pitch. We certainly would like to see Murph stretch it out to those 6 innings that he had the previous Hamilton game, but
That's an RBI for De Leon with the walk with the bases loaded. So the score tied now at 1. We're here in the top of the second inning. Peekskill versus Alexander Hamilton. Get a good look at the Peekskill kids meeting with their coach. And Coach Chris just trying to settle Murph down, try to get him back in a groove. Start all over now. You walk that batter. You got a new batter up. Get a first pitch strike. That's the main thing. Get on top. Sam Sanchez is the hitter now. He grounded to third base.
Now batting for Alexander Hamilton, number 3, third
And his
baseman
first at bat.
Samuel
Bases
Sanchez,
loaded.
number
1
3.
out. Corners remain up for Peekskill. Short and second are about halfway. And really, at this early stage of the game, you're looking just to get an out also. You just want to get an out, even if you concede the run. And that's the other thing Murph has to remember. You don't have to strike everybody out. Pitch to contact. Try to let your fielders help you. Get an out. And that pitch high. 1-0. Here's a strike. 1-1. Swung on a miss, 1-2. So Murph ahead in the count. Be aggressive and go at him here. Swung on a miss, strike 3. So big strikeout for Murph, gets the second out, gets Sanchez here in the second. 2 outs now. Nice pitch ball, sinking down a little bit, and that natural movement that Murph has on his fastball.
Now coming to the plate.
whatever it was the coach and the rest of the players said to Murph seemed to have an effect.
Number 5.
I also just saw Jason Santana walk by with a catcher's glove and a mask. Well, I'm not sure if Coach Dwyer and Salem are planning to have someone warm up just in case.
2 outs now, and this is Dan Valle Ortiz, the catcher, who walked his first time up. And Murph gets a first pitch strike to him. So for the second batter row, he's on top of the count, ahead in the count, which is key. You want to be able to work from ahead. That pitch high, 1-1. Gutierrez at third, Machado at second, and De Leon at first. That pitch low, 2-1. Infielders playing back now with 2 outs. Swung on and missed, 2-2. Murph in a position here to get out of it with only 1 run so far. And just off that outside corner. Couldn't get the call there. 3-2. That was a little too far out there. Paul Pesavento, the home plate umpire. 3-2, 2 outs now, so all the runners will get a head start. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Nice job by Murph to get out of it. So he gives up the 1 run, does walk in the 1.
And you made half the score, Alexander Hamilton 1.
And the catcher did drop the ball, but
Scheduled for your Red Devils
umpire
in the bottom
calling
second. Chris Melendez, Cortez Burris, and Jared Gilliam.
Valle Ortiz out. I don't know whether he stepped on home plate. It's a forced play at any base if the ball does hit the dirt or you don't catch the ball. I think he dropped it. I'm not sure. Bill Dwyer, the Alexander Hamilton coach, appealing to home plate umpire Paul Pesavento. But I did see him put the right hand up for batter out. So Murph gets out of it, left the bases loaded, and then gave up just a 1 run.
Umpire Kev O'Reilly talking with Pesavento possibly about whatever Coach Dwyer, Bill Dwyer was questioning. But as much as you said, Murph doesn't have to strike out everybody, I think he struck out the side on that time, didn't he? All 3 outs were by strikes, so maybe he can and maybe he should.
And he has those 3 for the game. He did not have any in the first inning. So Machado comes back out for the second innings. Now we have to do a little community events announcements here with the Peekskill Riverfront concerts. Will be going on Wednesday nights here this summer down at the Peekskill Riverfront, thanks to the Parks and Rec Department, Director Joyce Cuccia.
And I think the first of those series is something close to you. It would be July 8th.
Wednesday, July 8th, which happens to be my birthday.
And
so
the band of record there will be a band called the Barnstorm. And you know anything about them?
The Barnstorm, yes. That's my son-in-law, Hunter Kane's band. And you and I and our wives are known to be groupies of the Barnstorm. So they are playing, yes, Wednesday night, July 8th. And we're inviting everyone down to come and celebrate our birthday, because your birthday is right around that time.
I'm not going to reveal that. But yes, we've spent many times down at Brother Jimmy's, a variety of Brother Jimmy's. A little plug, I'm sorry. Hope that's not against the law. Maybe they'll send some money Mike's way. But yes, an excellent country band doing some covers, doing some of their own stuff. A very enjoyable evening, particularly if it's a night like tonight. So July 8th. Come down and say happy birthday to this guy here, Mr. Joe Dixie de Christopher. Enjoy the band, and it'll be pretty good.
Yeah, it should be good. They're always fun to watch. You know, we do go see them quite often. They become very popular with the younger group in New York City. Concert starts at 7 o'clock, and hopefully it is a nice night so they can do it outdoors. In case of rain, they'll do it at the new middle school auditorium, but we're hoping for good weather. So that's the first one, July 8th. Wednesday night, we'll give you the rest of the series of concerts in between innings, the next few innings. So we go to the bottom of the second now. We are tied at 1, and Chris Melendez, the first baseman for Peekskill, will lead it off against Brandon Machado. And that first pitch is high and inside, 1-0. So we'll see if Peekskill does be a little more patient at the plate here, take a few pitches, try to get some base runners, and take advantage of Brandon Machado's wildness. That pitch swung on and missed, 1-1, and that pitch really had Melendez way out in front. The slow stuff works a lot of times.
Somehow you got to get down there, Dix, and tell them that information yourself. Be patient at the plate.
That pitch high, 2-1.
It seemed to me also that the previous pitch might have been a little bit high as well as slow, and that Melendez swinging at balls. If he lets them go, gets a walk. That's what Peekskill needs, base runners.
That pitch swung on and missed, 2-2. That one seemed to have a little bit more steam on it. He doesn't throw hard. Looks like he throws a little changeup, and we did see a big curveball. But he is throwing strikes here. Here's a pop-up behind home plate. Catcher Val Ortiz not able to make the play. He was late getting there. I don't think he picked it up right away. We saw Machado come off the mound, and Val Ortiz, the catcher, did not pick it up quickly enough and then was not able to get. Not an easy play for a catcher. You aren't always able to pick the ball up easily, and you are facing in the opposite direction of everyone else. So here's the curveball, swung on and missed in the dirt, and Val Ortiz throw to first in time to retire Melendez for the strikeout.
Very slow curve, and Chris just couldn't get it.
Smothered there by Val Ortiz, and he gets a good angle.
36, right fielder Cortez Burris.
And throws to first to get Melendez. One out now for Cortez Burris, graduates of the Peekskill Apollo Little League. That one flowing out to right field. Washington underneath it and can't get it. Drops in front of him for a base hit for Cortez. So he's on with one out. And it looked like Washington was, that sun is still out there battling the sun. Don't know how well he saw that.
In the replays, we'll see if he might have lost it a little bit, because it dropped just a little bit in front of him, almost if he might have been able to catch it. But if he couldn't see it with that sun, the shadows are just starting to reach out there in right field. The infield is the grass, very much covered in shadow.
Here's Jared Gillio now with one out. Burris at first. That pitch on the outside corner for strike one.
And the advantage there, Dix, I believe, goes to the pitcher, right? If the pitcher himself is in the shade and the batter is in the sun, batters have a little bit of trouble finding that ball coming out of the hand.
Definitely harder to pick up. There's a foul ball straight back. 1-1 to Jared. Jared, a good football player, too. Peekskill had a nice season this year in football. They played in a Yonkers league, with more competitive teams, and I believe they were 6-2 or something of that nature. And Jared, one of their better players, saw them on TV a couple times on the school channel. That pitch in the dirt gets past Val Ortiz, and Cortez will move down to second in scoring position now with one out for Jared Gillio and on deck Alfonso Gordine.
As you pointed out earlier, lots of space behind the catcher and the umpire here to the backstop. So anything that gets through, we got a very good chance to advance the runners.
It's bigger than most high school fields, I think. It's got a lot of distance, almost compared to Major League Baseball distances, very, very close to it. That one swung on and missed. So Jared down on strikes for the second out. And that's going to bring up Alfonso Gordine.
Now to play for your Red Devils, number 8, left fielder Alfonso Gordine, number 8.
And Alfonso, I believe, is just a freshman. Right-handed hitter. That pitch in the dirt. Smothered by Ortiz. Cortez trying to go to third, and he is out. So trying to move along on the wild pitch, and Val Ortiz smothered it nicely and threw to third to Sanchez to get Cortez. So that retires the side. Maybe not the best idea for Cortez. The ball never really got past Ortiz. There you see.
Right, I think Cortez couldn't pick it up. It looked like it landed almost under the pad of the catcher, so no one was really sure it was. Coach Salem out there trying to be the umpire called Cortez safe, but Kev Riley made the correct call and called him out.
And Coach Chris Salem is an umpire. I know he does some umpiring during the summer. He is with the Umpires Association, but his call doesn't count. Kevin's the one that made that call, and it was the right call. Cortez was out sliding into third. So that retired the side. Peekskill fails to score, and at the end of 2 innings, it's Alexander Hamilton 1 and Peekskill 1. And before we move to the third, let's review the rest of the concerts for the Wednesday night concerts at the Peekskill Riverfront. On July 15th, it is the Showtime Dance Band. And July 22nd is Jessica Lynn. And on July 29th is Blue Sky, which I'm guessing is either a Allman Brothers cover band or a Southern Rock cover band, just by the name of the band. That's a famous Allman Brothers song. So those are the 4 concerts, along with the Barnstorm on July 8th for the summer. And we have to mention on July 4th, on the 4th of July, after the parade, there will be a concert down at the Riverfront. Lost Souls, S-O-U-L-Z. So probably a soul kind of band and good music. And fireworks to follow on the 4th of July, which I believe is a Saturday night this year. So it'll be a good night for everyone to come out. Not many people have to work the next day. So look forward to that. We have the 4 concerts, the 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th of July. And before any of that will be the July 4th concert with Lost Souls and the fireworks to follow.
I'm looking over your lineup here, Dix, and I know Barnstorm is very much got a country feel to it. I think Jessica Lynn is a local girl from Yorktown, if I remember her, who's big on the country scene. Blue Sky, if you think it might be an Allman Brothers thing. So it looks like maybe this summer Peekskill's gone a little bit country.
Yeah.
Romello Bond.
Okay, Romello Bond will lead off the third here for Alexander Hamilton. Anthony Murphy still on the mound for Peekskill. Threw a lot of pitches there in the second. Did give up just the 1 run, but did strike out the side. When you strike out a lot of batters, you throw a lot of pitches. So, and that first pitch is outside, 1-0. Who wore number 25 for the Yankees? I'm a Mets fan, Mike. I don't know. Tommy John. All right, left-handed pitcher. Mike's throwing Yankee questions at us.
Tommy John. Wasn't there a surgery named after the guy, or was he named after the surgery?
Very, very popular surgery. That pitch swung on and missed.
We talked about that last game too. That unfortunately on the major league level, it's not really an if but a when, where many of these major league players are getting that Tommy John surgery.
2-2 now to Romello Bond. It's almost epidemic, the amount of young pitchers having to get Tommy John surgery. 2-2. That one high and away. 3-2 now to Romello Bond, leading off the third here for Hamilton. Game tied at 1.
And I'll make note, Dix, that it wasn't I that brought up the Yankees and Mets this time. It was Mike.
Swung on and missed for strike 3. So Murph gets the first out via strikeout. His fourth. And that brings up Dore Payano, the center fielder, for Hamilton. Mike Sabini over there is another big Yankee fan. So
Now at the plate for Alexander.
I'm surrounded.
Right center fielder.
I think they share the same record at this point. I think they're 18-10, is it?
1-0 to Payano now. That pitch swung on and missed. 1-1. So Murph finding the groove a little bit better now.
And Mike wants me to bring up Dix that
Pop up foul straight back. 1-2.
a milestone for Alex Rodriguez, hitting his 661st home run to go ahead of Willie Mays. And I was listening to Michael Kay on the radio today, and he said he was amazed that the stadium actually erupted and demanded a curtain call.
Here's a chopper right back to Murph. Fields steps, throws in time to get Payano for the second out.
Fans are very forgiving.
Well, fans are very forgiving also when you're hitting and your team is winning. I think that probably had a lot to do with it, too. There you see Murph fielding his position.
Number 4, left fielder Hugo Ortiz.
Nice easy step and throw. Good backup by Cortez. You can see in the background there. 2 out now here in the third. And Hugo Ortiz, the hitter. Hugo singled and scored the run back in the second inning for Hamilton. Here's a pop-up on the right side. Chris Melendez battling the sun and makes the play. Good job by Chris. Not an easy play. So good inning for Murph there. Getting 3 up, 3 down, limiting his pitch count. And in the middle of the third inning, it's Hamilton 1 and Peekskill 1.
When we watch the replay here, Melendez not only battling the sun, but battling umpire Riley, who seems to be trying to get out of his way as best as he can. And luckily, there was no collision involved in that particular play.
You can get caught up down there as an umpire. You got to, there are certain places you need to be in certain situations. Kevin trying to move out of the way and into position to make a call if needed. And Chris did a nice job of taking care of that one, though. Good job by him. So we know last weekend, there you get a good look at Kevin. Peekskill last Sunday played up at Cooperstown. Played against Briarcliff High School in a game that was arranged up there, right, Kevin?
That's true. Again, they played on Doubleday Field. Unfortunately, a loss, a 3-2 loss for Peekskill in extra innings. It was an 8th inning loss. But Coach Dwyer, my son Sean, when I was speaking with him, said the kids had a great time. For many of them, the first opportunity to be up there at the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. They had a beautiful day for it. And it was just a great experience that I don't think any other Peekskill team in the past has had on the high school level. Do you know offhand?
No, the only thing I know is the Peekskill American Legion team, which was a combination. This was the summer of 1978. It was a combination of Peekskill, Panis, and Yorktown players played in the state championship American Legion game in August of 1978, losing to a team from upstate. I can't remember what town, but that is the long time that I know that a team from Peekskill did go up there. Maybe way back in the day.
You've been up there yourself?
I was at that game to watch, and was there later on to the museum and Hall of Fame just to visit. But we did go up to watch that game, an extra inning game. If you want to go with Billy Gallagher, who a Peekskill graduate who sadly passed away about a year and a half ago, was a member of that team and was on his way to North Carolina. A couple of the players, Dave Pohill, was on his way to Kentucky. They almost reported late to school because the season ran so long. but they did go up there and lose to a team from upstate New York in the state championship. And that team continued to move. There was a national tournament, so once you won your state tournament, you moved on, and Peekskill losing in extra innings in that game up at Doubleday Field. Here's Alfonso. He resumes his at-bat now. Strike 2 to him. He was at-bat when Cortez was thrown out at third. So he resumes his at-bat. 0-2. Alfonso, as we mentioned, is just, we believe, just a freshman. And that pitch swung on and missed. So Alfonso down on 3 pitches. Alfonso was a real good player in the Peekskill Little League just a few short years ago. He is only in 9th grade. And would be one of those players on that modified team we were talking about, but he was able to join the varsity. Here's Nihilus now. Nihilus struck out his first at-bat. Bottom of the third, 1-1. Alexander Hamilton versus Peekskill. Joe DeChristopher along with Kevin Dwyer, Mike Miner, Billy Miner, and Mike Sabini. First pitch outside to Nihilus. Pitch swung on a miss. 1-1. Jamie Lynn on deck. That pitch swung on a miss. 1-2 now to Nihilus.
Again, trying to preach patience to these young boys. They're swinging at pitches way outside, high, low, left, right.
Pitch outside, 2-2. Brandon Machado on the mound for Alexander Hamilton. Has 5 strikeouts so far. And the Peekskill batter's helping him out a little bit, but he's thrown strikes, though. He's come back since the first inning. That one a little short. Way short, as a matter of fact. 3-2 now to Nihilus. That was about a 40-footer. And out high and inside. So that was ball 3. I thought that he already had 3. That's ball 3 now. 3-2 to Nihilus. Now they're saying ball 4. Yeah, we had ball 4. Okay, Kevin Riley on top of that. So we did have 3 balls and 2 strikes going into that pitch, and that was ball 4. So Nihilus down at first with 1 out. Here's Jamie Lent. Jamie singled and scored his first time up. He had the infield single or infield ground ball to third.
Now to play for your Red Devils, number 24, shortstop Jamie Lent, number 24.
Machado working from the stretch. Throws over. And Nihilus back. See if Coach Salem puts him in motion. 1 out, runner at first. He's going. Throw down will not be in time. Easy steal for Nihilus. He's in at second now with 1 out. Not an easy pitch for the catcher to handle, down low. And Brandon doesn't throw hard to begin with, so the good opportunity for Nihilus to steal the base, as he does. He's at second now with 1 out. Jamie trying to pick him up. Here's a fly ball to deep left field. Ortiz goes back, and it will be over his head. 1 hop to the wall. Nihilus held up. He's being waved home, and he will score easily. And Jamie in with an RBI double. So Jamie Lent with a long double to left field drives in Nihilus Jacob, and Peekskill takes a 2-1 lead. Going out and getting it.
That was a very nice shot. I almost had to pull out the home run call. I wasn't sure, but certainly over the left fielder's head. Or nice double, RBI double. Now Murph can help himself by trying to get Jamie Lent around. Maybe dust off the home run call this time. I mentioned it the last time around the air that, gee, Murph's one of those guys who could hit one out, and he did. So let's see what happens this time up.
That pitch high, so it looks like the Peekskill batters are being a little more patient. Taking some pitches, making Machado work a little bit. Second time around the order, a little more used to what he has up there. Jamie at second with 1 out. Murph, the number 3 batter in the order. And Murph needs time. Machado taking a long time to deliver. Murph does a smart thing, calls time, gets himself reset.
I'm glad Murph called timeout because I was about to call timeout. It was just taking a little bit too long. Machado worried about Lent back there on second base, looking back and forth.
Outfield straight away. That pitch in there for a strike. A little slow curveball. 1-1 now to Murph. There's that slow curveball in the dirt. Jamie's going to try to get to third, and he is safe. High tag by Sanchez. The throw looked like it was there in time, but a high tag by Sanchez, and Jamie in underneath. A good call by Kevin Riley.
Yeah, the throw was there in time. From my vantage point here, it definitely looked like Lent was underneath that.
Good job by Val Ortiz to block it. Makes the throw down, but watch where the tag is. Way up on the hip and almost on the chest, so foot getting in before the tag. Swing and a miss by Murph. 2-2 now. He just needs to make contact here. Can't be over anxious. Make contact, drive the run in. That pitch in the dirt, and it hit Murph, so he'll go down to first. Puts runners at first and third now for Lisandro Guzman. 1 out. Jamie Lynn at third, Anthony Murphy at first.
Now back for your Red Devils, number 21, catcher Lisandro Guzman, number 21.
I think that ball might have hit Murph in the foot.
Now, I'm never sure of the rules on those hit by pitches, but if it bounces and hits you, it still gets you a base.
Earl Berry said if it hits you, it hits you.
It
doesn't
hits you.
matter. I asked him that one time. Wasn't sure. He said if it hits you, it hits you. Easiest way to remember.
I'll
First and
remember
third
that.
now with 1 out. See if Murph is going. Pitch is high, and they'll let him go. We heard Coach Bill Dwyer. I don't know if we caught it. He was calling out a number, which was their defensive first and third situation call, and it obviously was no throw should the runner go. So second and third now for Guzman and 1 out. That pitch high, 2-0. So he's in a good situation here. 2-0 count. Can kind of zone up, get a pitch you want to hit. If it's not there, let it go. Even if it's a strike, you don't want to swing at a pitcher's pitch here. You want to hit your pitch. That pitch outside, 3-0. So Machado starting to struggle a little bit with his control. Peekskill leads 2-1. We're in the bottom of the third inning. And taken all the way, 3-1. John Guichardo on deck. And high ball 4, so that's going to load him up. For John Guichardo, who grounded to short his first time up.
Now back for your Red Devils, number 2, third baseman John Guichardo, number 2.
Bases loaded and 1 out. For Guichardo, and Hamilton will play the middle infield back, third base even with the bag, first baseman in front of the runner. And Machado will go from the windup. Pitch is high, 1-0. And Coach Bill Dwyer is going to call timeout. So Machado struggling with his control a little bit. His pitch count's getting up there. Might be getting a little tired. He's not a big guy. And Coach Dwyer is going to see if he can settle him down.
So one of my very few own baseball stories, Dix, 'cause I know you have plenty. You remember a lot more than I do. But just going back to that hit by pitch, I remember we were playing. I did play for Byram Hills High School back in the day. Usually I was either right out or left out. But we were playing against a team, and we thought we had won because we had bases loaded, and one of our batters was hit. So we figured, okay, the run will score. Umpire actually called our batter out, saying he didn't make enough effort to get out of the way. Is that a rule as well?
It can be, but it's got to be blatant. I don't know what the situation was. You almost got to walk into a pitch in order for that to be called, I think. Here's a pop-up to short left field. Ortiz coming in, and the shortstop, Bond, makes the play. Jamie holds. So Richardo not able to pick up the runner there. 2 outs now.
Now at the plate for your Devils, number 15, first baseman Chris Melendez.
Here's
number
Chris
15.
Melendez now. Bases loaded, 2 out. So good play by Bond going back. First pitch in there for a strike.
I wonder on a play like that where the infielder was kind of backpedaling if coach shouldn't have at least given a try with Lent at third, have them all set up to tag up to see what the throw would have been like. But Coach Salem didn't want that last out to be a out at home plate, I guess.
And I didn't notice whether they called infield fly. I don't think they did. 1 and 2. You can, it was in short left field, but it could still be the infield fly. He was kind of going back on it. Left fielder coming in, so I don't believe they called the infield fly rule. That pitch in the dirt, and here comes Jamie, and he will score on the wild pitch. So good job by Jamie, getting a good secondary lead. Peekskill now leads 3-1. There you see Ortiz didn't really stay down on the ball. Thought it was going to stay up. The ball stayed low on the ground and rolled right past him. He didn't square that one up too well. And Jamie, with a good lead off of third, scores the second run of the inning, third for the game for Peekskill. Murph moves up to third, and Lissandro to second. Here's a pop-up foul and out of play. 3-1 now. Peekskill leads here in the bottom of the third inning. Chris Melendez, the batter. Cortez Burris on deck. Brandon Machado on the mound, working from the windup now. There's another foul ball out of play. So Melendez staying alive at 0-2, 2 out. Another one fouled back. So Chris Melendez working Machado here in the third. That's at least the third 2-strike foul ball he's had. Guzman at second, not being held on. Murph with his lead off the third. Here's a drive to left field. Ortiz goes back and can't get it off his glove. It goes to the wall. 2 runs will score. And Melendez pulls into second with a 2-run double. So 2 big runs for Peekskill there. Ortiz went back on it, looked like he had a play on it, and it looked like it might have hit off the end of his glove. So a big double for Chris Melendez to drive in 2 for Peekskill.
Now to play for your Devils, number 36, right fielder Cortez Burris. Number 36.
Here you see Ortiz going back, gets turned around a little bit, and off his glove. So it looked like he might have had a play, but that's a double for Chris to drive in 2. Here's Cortez now with 2 out and a runner at second base. And that pitch behind Cortez. 1-0. So Murphy and Guzman scored on the double. That makes it 5-1 now. Peekskill here in the third. A little cushion. Long way to go, though. That pitch gets past the catcher, and Melendez will move up to third base. Cortez had a single his first time up, so he's got an opportunity to drive in Melendez here for the 6th run. Jared Gillio on deck for Peekskill. 2-0. There's a fly ball down the right field line, foul, and out of play. On to Louisa Street. No damage done. Didn't sound like it anyway.
The crowd is shouting for a car, but in all the years that we've been doing this, I don't think there's been any moving cars hit that I can recall.
I think there might have been a couple that I can remember. Not my own, thank God.
We're smart enough to park far away.
Yeah. Here's a chopper to third. Foul ball.
Foul ball.
So Cortez has to come back, do it all over again. 2-2, 2 out. Runner at third is Chris Melendez. Peekskill leads 5-1. We're in the bottom of the third inning. Peekskill versus Alexander Hamilton. Peekskill's lone victory of the season was against Hamilton, so they're looking to double up on that. But as we just mentioned, a long way to go. It's only the third inning. That pitch low. 3-2 now to Cortez Burris. And when Cortez played in Little League, his sister Nicole was on the team. I think they were on maybe the firefighters or brush graphics, I'm not sure, but his sister Nicole played. That pitch in the dirt, ball 4. So Cortez draws a walk.
So that would be an interesting statistic if you could remember. How many young ladies, would you guess, have gone through the Peekskill
number 7.
Ever?
Little League? Well, in your time, because I think earlier on, I'm not sure that there would have been as many.
Well, I think the first year the girls were allowed to play was around 1977, 6, 8, somewhere around there. So it's been 40 years. Here's a foul ball straight down to Jared Gilliel. He's up with runners at first and second and 2 out.
I wouldn't expect you to remember all of them.
No, but there are, each year at the Major League level, there's at least 1 or 2. Right now, I don't think there is 1 in the Major Leagues, yes, and we had 1 graduate out last year that I can remember. But there's at least 1 or 2. There's a lot that start at T-ball and in the minors levels, and as they get to the higher levels, they drop off somewhat. There's a throw over. Not in time. Peekskill again in the first and third situation. We'll see what Hamilton wants to do should Cortez decide to steal or try to steal second, set up a play here. But there have been some very good players, some female players come out of the league. We had Kayla Santos played with us at Mount Lebanon, who was later a very good player for the Peekskill High School softball team.
I remember Kayla, yeah.
And Mike Miner had a girl throw him out. Who was that, Mike? Do you remember? Who was it? Melissa Dabbs, my niece. Threw Mike out at second base. How about that? We won't let you.
Not now. We won't let Mike forget that one.
That pitch to Jared on the outside corner. Jared, the 9th batter of the inning for Peekskill. They've scored 4 so far. Looking to pick up more. There are 2 out. Runners at first and third. That pitch in the dirt. Cortez will take second.
No, we count that as a stolen base or one of your defensive indifference calls, or early in the game. It doesn't matter.
If I'm Cortez, that's a stolen base.
I have a few questions for Mike about that throw out. Maybe at the inning break we'll have a question or two, Mike.
Second and third now. That pitch on the outside corner for strike 3. So Peekskill does bat around. Jared down on strikes to end the inning, but Peekskill does score 4. And at the end of 3, it's Peekskill 5, Alexander Hamilton 1.
Scheduled to hit for Alexander.
So, Mike, was it a good play by Dabbs, or was it something to do with your running abilities?
Zachary Washington.
Trying to stretch a single into the double, Mike tells us. She just gunned him out at second. Wow. Look at that sunset. I haven't seen that because we're facing, obviously, opposite the river here. That's a nice shot you got there, Mike.
Is that current, Mike? Oh, I was going to say.
Oh, my goodness.
It's like a Joe Deutsch picture there.
Yeah, that was such a nice shot. I was saying, wow, Mike, that was really nice. But I was fooled.
On a spring or summer evening, you're down here at Peekskill Stadium, and it can be a beautiful sight. You have the sun setting behind the mountains, and here we go. That's a current shot. Not very different from what we were just looking at. A little breeze blowing, sun setting behind the mountains, a very little sun in the outfield, a little bit in right field. But you know, you come down here any night during the spring, especially during the summer. There's always games going on here at Peekskill Stadium, whether it be the Peekskill Tides or some adult leagues, WPBA summer leagues, and you know, on a nice 70, 75 degree night, it's a good way to spend the summer night down here at Peekskill Stadium. So come down, check it out. You're driving by Louisa Street, you see a game going on. The lights, you can see the lights from the highway a little bit. You see the lights on. As you're riding by, come down and watch a ball game.
There's a shot of the crowd that we have here. A couple of people in the seats.
There's a few students. Senior day, we heard some of the students cheering for their classmates.
And then on the other side, on the street side, we've got fans up and down the walkway here. Moms and families still here clutching their bouquet of flowers given to them by their sons on senior night, which was a very nice ceremony at the beginning of this game.
Okay, we're going to move to the top of the fourth now. Peekskill leads 5-1. Anthony Murphy still on the mound for Peekskill. Big, tall, left-handed pitcher. And first pitch in there for a strike to Gino Gutierrez, the first baseman for Alexander Hamilton. He walked his first time up. Swung on a miss, strike 2. So Murph ahead in the count, 0-2. And pitch low in the dirt, 1-2. And in there for a call, strike 3. Nice pitch by Anthony Murphy for the first out of the fourth. Murph's fourth strikeout. And he gets Gutierrez looking.
For Alexander Hamilton, number 12 pitcher Brandon Machado, number 12.
Brandon Machado now the opposing pitcher up at the plate. Brandon walked his first time up, stranded at second. First pitch in there for a strike. It seems like Murph's getting it and throwing it now. He really is moving a little bit faster pace. Is in a real nice groove, 0-2.
Right, as we always say, once you're in that groove, he's going to get it, and he's going to throw it. I'm not sure, obviously, what the pitch count is, but even as high as it might be, doesn't seem to have affected Murph greatly. He's still got a lot of zip behind that ball when he wants it.
He is. He's still throwing hard. That pitch was high, 1-2 to Machado. And swung on a miss, strike 3. So another strikeout for Murph. That's his fifth, second out of the inning. And 2 quick strikeouts, and Zachary Washington, who struck out his first time up. The right fielder for Hamilton. First pitch, a little outside, 1-0.
Now at the plate for
Inside, 2-0.
Alexander Hamilton, number 7, right fielder Zachary Washington.
And Washington's first at-bat really looked kind of overmatched, so Murph just got to kind of pump it in there, challenge him a little bit. That one fouled straight down and back, 2-1. Two out, nobody on. We're in the top of the fourth inning. Peekskill High School Baseball, Joe DeChristopher along with Kevin Dwyer. Mike Miner running the automatic hammers here. Billy Miner on the board. Pitch high, 3-1. I think Murph would like to get a nice 3-up, 3-down inning. Put himself back on the bench, and he's not going to get it. High and outside, ball 4. So Washington walks, and that brings up De Leon, the second baseman, who walked his first time up. That's Murph's 5th walk to go along with 5 strikeouts. First pitch a little inside to De Leon. So after getting the first 2 batters quickly, Murph walks Washington, and he's behind De Leon here.
Baseman Douglas De Leon, number 1.
That pitch in there for a strike, 1-1. Murph working De Leon on the inside part of the plate. goes to the outside part, but off the corner. 2-1.
I think Murphy really wanted that strike, and it almost looked like the umpire's hand was
Halfway
on
up.
its way up, and then thought better of that.
That pitch in there for strike 2. 2-2 now. I think Murph's just got to do the same thing. Just rear back, throwing down the middle. Challenge these lower batters in the order. Don't mess around. That pitch a little low. 3-2 now. Three, two out. Washington will get an automatic start at first. Not a bad time to throw over. Not running, though. And in there for call strike 3. So Murph does get the strikeout, gets his strikes out the side, his 6th strikeout of the game to retire the side. So in the middle of the 4th, Peekskill leads Hamilton 5-1.
And I believe that was the second time in the game that Murph has struck out the side this inning, and I guess it was the second.
Look back, he did strike out the side in the second, right? Gave up the 1 run there, but did get all 3 outs on strikeouts. So you get a good look at the Peekskill team. We'll move to the bottom of the 4th. Now we talked about Peekskill Stadium and the site down here on Louisa Street. The stadium opened in 2004. In July of 2004, it was a combination project with the city of Peekskill and the county of Westchester. Peekskill needed a full-size baseball field for teams to play on. The only field that was available was at the Depew Park, which was a great baseball field, but it was on a football field and had bleachers in right field and bleachers in left field, so it was kind of a strange configuration. And then when the fall came and all these fall leagues became very popular, Peekskill could play no home games in the fall because goalposts were put up in the end zones and you couldn't play any more baseball there. So finally, the city, along with some people from the city, got together and figured this might be a good place, the best place to put the field. The city garage was here at the time. They had to find a place for them to move, and there had to be some studies done and some work done. But finally, along with the help of the county, they were able to build Peekskill Stadium here, and it did open up in July of 2004.
I remember some of the grounds rules over there at the Pew. If it hit a certain height on the concrete steps, it was considered a home run or a double. Or
in right field, there were the bleachers, and at the time, they're cement now, but they were wooden bleachers painted red and blue for the Peekskill colors. And one set was blue, the middle set was red, and the far set was blue. If you hit it in the first set, it was a double. The second set was a ground rule triple, which is probably the only place where there was a. I used to do the ground rules with the umpire as the catcher, and the umpire said, "Ground? I've never heard of a ground rule triple." Here's Alfonso now up for his second time. First pitch is outside, and we do have a new pitcher for Alexander Hamilton, number 8. Oh, that's Payano, moved from center field to the mound. Okay, so Dare Payano is now the pitcher in for his first inning, and Alfonso up at bat. Alfonso struck out his first time up. That one fouled right back toward us. 1-1. Alfonso has a nice cut. He's a good player. He's probably only 14 years old. His cousin Xavier, they played together in Little League. Xavier's on that modified team. They look exactly like. They look like twins. Not so much now as they did back then, but still hard to tell apart. But they were both really good players. That pitch swung on and missed. So Alfonso down on strikes for the second time to start the 4th here for Peekskill. But getting back to the Depew Park field, yeah, it was kind of strange. You hit anything over the bleachers and right, it was a home run. But it was a nice field. But they needed a stadium. They needed a bigger field than Peekskill Stadium here since 2004. It's hard to believe it's been here that long. Here's Nihilus now. Nihilus has struck out, walked, and scored in the 3rd.
you say it's an attraction as well. I mean, it is at least it could be a money maker. I'm not sure how much money the city makes, but certainly having the field where teams can come in.
Second base, De Leon, and the first baseman. The ball is dropped. So a little confusion between Gutierrez and De Leon on who was going to take it. And Gutierrez got his glove on it but was not able to hold it.
Take a look on their replay here. They get a little bit.
Shortstop,
No,
Jamie
not so much. Second
Lent,
baseman really
24.
didn't interfere with the first baseman. I mean, maybe lost it, and I'm not
kinda
sure that
got-
the sun is still
Kind
out
of got
there.
turned around a little bit. Had to move around and off his glove. So Nihilus reaches on the error. He's running. First pitch is in the dirt, and he'll get to second easily with no throw. Jamie Lent the batter. Jamie doubled in 2 runs his last time up. Dare Pagnano now, the pitcher. And it looks like, not sure, but it looks like Machado just moved to center field. So it looks like they may have just switched positions.
And your your invitation for people to come down. If you're not aware that the field is here, you really wouldn't know it was here. From the highway, Route 9, you can see the light stanchions, but you're not sure if it's baseball, soccer field, whatever.
But the Peekskill Stadium, you asked about moneymaker. The Peekskill teams play for free, but there are several teams, out-of-town teams, leagues that will rent the field and pay a fee to the city to use the field. Here's a grounder inside third. Fair ball down the line. Nihilus will.
They seem to have called it a foul ball.
Okay,
I think,
it was
Dix.
called foul. All right, I was looking at Coach Salem.
Coach Salem again trying to
not-
be that
he's not
umpire.
umpiring this game.
Not of record today, but trying to maybe influence.
Close call. From here, it looked like it might have been fair, but obviously umpire Paul is right on that line. Paul Pesavento. 2-2 to Jamie now. 1 out. Pitch in the inside corner for strike 3. Nice pitch by Pagnano to get Jamie for the second out. Get a good look at it here. Catcher set up on the outside part, but the pitch high and inside. And
On that replay, I'm not sure that I would have agreed with calling it a strike, but
Pitcher Anthony Murphy.
I'm not right over the plate
I don't
as
think Jamie agreed either. But
as the
nonetheless,
umpire is.
here's Murph now with 2 outs and a runner at second. This one's popped up behind third. Pitcher.
Oh my
collision.
goodness! There is a collision that looks very painful out
We
there.
had Pagnano and Sanchez collide. Pagnano coming hard off the mound.
And Coach Dwyer running out there, Coach Salem running out there. It looks like the third baseman. He's getting up now.
Sanchez, the third baseman, Pagnano, the pitcher. He was coming hard off the mound. They're both up. And the ball was not caught. There you see it right there. So it looks like Pagnano might have come across with his arm on Sanchez's neck. But I think they're both okay. He'll throw a couple pitches from the mound. Murph gets a second life there, though.
Coach Dwyer out there on the mound, just making sure that his pitcher is okay. Give him a couple of warm-up pitches.
He's shaking it off. He's all right. You keep saying Coach Dwyer, I'm looking for Sean.
It is kind of weird, yes, that there's 3 of us in the stadium right now that share the same last name, and only 2 of us are related.
That's Bill Dwyer, coach of the Alexander Hamilton Red Raiders. So here's Murph now with 1 strike. That one's flied out to center field. Machado, the pitcher, former pitcher, underneath it and can't handle it off his glove. So 1 run scores. Murph will go to
Murph is
third,
going
and
all the
Murph
way
is
around to
motoring.
third, and it looks
and
like
he'll
Coach
stop at
was-
third.
Coach at first started to send him home, and Murph stopped. From the corner of my eye, I saw Coach Salem windmilling his arm, suggesting that Murph should try and make it home, but Murph stopped. Perhaps a smart move as the ball comes in.
That's Brandon Machado. He just came off the mound and
And
he was settled underneath it, but he couldn't hold on.
Sandro Guzman.
And we
number
talked
21.
about Murph's speed. Murph was moving.
He was. I was
moving.
very surprised that he had made it all the way around towards third. And again, Coach, I believe, started sending him home at first, but Murph pulled up. The lights are coming on now at Peekskill Stadium.
6-1 now, Peekskill. So it's a little hard luck for Dare Pagnano. He had Murph on a pop-up behind third base that, the collision forced the ball to be dropped, and now Murph makes him pay by tripling in another run. Sandro Guzman now walked and scored back in the third. Bottom of the fourth inning, Peekskill leads 6-1 versus Alexander Hamilton. Get a good shot at Guzman. That pitch swung on and missed. 2-1. Not a good pitch to swing at on a 2-0 count. Again, we talked about it before. You're ahead 2-0. You're looking to zone up, middle in, wherever your sweet spot is. That pitch down in the dirt. 3-1. Now, same situation now for Lissandro. 3-1 count. Good hitter's spot. Pick one out. Pick a spot. If it's not there, let it go. You get the same pitch on 3-2. Gets a good pitch and swings and misses. 3-2 now. Murph at third. 2 out. 3-2 count to Lisandro Guzman. Peekskill catcher. And that pitch high. So Lisandro draws a walk. But runners at first and third now for John Guicciardo, third baseman. And again,
for your Red Devils, number 2, third baseman John Guicciardo, number 2.
we have first and third situation. See what Coach Salem elects to do, where he puts his runner in motion. Hamilton has opted to not throw down either time that they've been in this situation. Runner not going. Pitches in the dirt. Scooped nicely by Valle Ortiz.
I'm surprised that Coach Salem isn't sending Guzman down. I don't think Hamilton would throw with Murph on third base, but let's see if this time he makes the move. Gets a bigger lead,
Not
and
going.
no.
That pitch outside. 2-0. Down 5 runs, they probably wouldn't throw. No, but 2 outs. I mean, if you throw them out, the inning's over. But there's a threat of the runner coming in from third base. That ball in the dirt, 3-0.
So it seems like there's no reason why Coach Salem shouldn't send Guzman, but now at 3-0, I don't know if he'll get a little bit of a head start, a bigger lead.
There's the fake bunt, ball 4. The other theory being, if the guy can't throw strikes and he's walking people, why steal?
Okay, I appreciate that other side.
Don't know whether Coach Salem was thinking that or not, but that's
Those baseball wisdoms
One
you
of
come
those-
up with, close to
yeah.
those yogi-isms.
many.
If it hits you, it hits you. That was one you said earlier, right?
Chris
If it hits you, it hits you.
Melendez,
That's an Earl
number
Berryism.
15.
If it hits him, it hits him.
If it hits him, and if they walk you, let them walk you.
Here's
That's
Chris
good
Melendez.
good baseball wisdom.
Chris doubled in 2
Behind
runs
him,
his
that
last
pitch
time.
was.
Yeah, that pitch behind him.
And he's rubbing his back as though he felt it.
That's a little inside, Bob Euchre would say. 1-0 to Melendez now. Bases loaded. That one popped up behind home plate and
On our roof.
right on our roof. Okay. Look out for the roof.
We were waiting for that sound to make sure that it was there, and it hit the roof.
1-1 to Melendez. 6-1. Peekskill leads here in the 4th inning. That pitch low and outside. 2-1. So no place to put Melendez for Dare Pagnano. First inning of relief. Started the game in center field. Flip-flop with pitcher Brandon Machado. That pitch low and in the dirt. No advance by Murph from third.
And again, if we could whisper in Melendez's ear, patience, Chris, patience.
3-1 count again. That hitter's count. Perfect situation to hit in. You like it, you rip it. If not, let it go. That pitch behind him again for ball 4. So either way, he gets the RBI.
And Murph comes home, touches home plate.
And
7-1
number 36, right
Peekskill in
fielder,
the 4th.
Cortez Burris, number 36.
7-1 now, Peekskill leads here. It's Cortez. Cortez has singled and walked 2 times up. Playing right field today. Dare Pagnano on the mound for Hamilton. First pitch is low, 1-0. An opportunity for the guys to play under the lights a little bit. You know, we've got another 3 innings to go. There's a grounder towards second. De Leon fields, flips to second for the forced out. So Peekskill does score 2 more runs, leave the bases loaded, but at the end of 4 innings, Peekskill leads Alexander Hamilton 7-1.
Scheduled hit for Alexander Hamilton at the top of the 5th.
We'll move to the 5th. Just one more note on the stadium, Kevin. Again, opening up in 2004. Played a few games that summer, then opened up for full schedule games in April of the following year. But I tell this story often. I think we were up at the Peekskill Lapolo Little League up at Tompkins Park for a summer game or a summer travel game with some of our guys. I think Nick and Brian were both there, and Josh Gill, who lived in our neighborhood. We're all up there, and first game was going on down the stadium. We were all excited. I threw them all in the car. I had a car full of kids. We came down here, watched the last inning or two. The lights were on. And as soon as the game ended, our kids, who were 11, 12, run onto the field, running around the bases. They were having a great time. It was just a big thrill, something that they hadn't really seen before, a big field under the lights, and really was...
I do remember that because I think I was down here at the game. As we've said before, I think my son Sean was involved in that particular game, or certainly one of the first early games here, but I think the credit goes to Jonathan Smythe. I think might have been the first pitcher of record to actually pitch in this stadium. And the name behind it, you were talking about a joint effort with Peekskill and Westchester County. Was it Don Foster?
Don Foster, who was a big advocate of baseball here in Peekskill, was a former president of the Peekskill Lapolo Little League, was really pushing back in the early 2000s. To get the stadium built. And
was it Mayor Testa at the time? Or no?
Actually, Mayor Kelly when it started, and then by the time it was all, I think Mayor Testa was able to get the county to come in and contribute to get it over the hump, pretty much, to get it done.
Number 3, third baseman Samuel Sanchez. Number 3.
And as we say often, they figured out the configuration and put as much field here as they could, because there's not a whole lot of room behind that left field fence. Here's Sam Sanchez leading off the 5th for Hamilton. They trail Peekskill 7-1. Anthony Murphy still on the mound. That pitch in there for a strike, 1-1.
I don't think we could ever oversay it. It is a beautiful facility with a long drive to the left. Just off the blue, padding.
So a leadoff double for De Leon. Alfonso Gordine fields and throws in. Ball gets
a little bit
away,
of sloppy play by Peekskill
here.
here.
To third. Yeah, so the ball just being thrown in.
Daniel Valle Ortiz, number 5.
Now here's Valle Ortiz, the catcher, has walked and struck out. Peekskill's got a 6-run lead. Don't need to worry about that runner at third. Need to continue to throw strikes. Ball well hit by De Leon there. One hop to the wall.
Actually, I wasn't sure, Dix. I thought it hit the blue padding.
It might have hit the padding. It did. All right, so.
Because that was one heck of a shot right over the left fielder's head. Just turn and, you hope to play it off the wall. No chance of catching that, and hope it doesn't go out.
First pitch in there for a strike to Valle Ortiz. So Murph's got the runner at third. Doesn't need to worry about him. Peekskill playing the infield back. Point here is to get outs, throw strikes, concede the run. That one fouled straight back. 0-2 now to Valle Ortiz. To Valle Ortiz, the Hamilton catcher. Runner at third, nobody out.
Looks like the umpire crew is calling timeout and trying to communicate back and forth about something. Not quite sure what's going on.
I think they need a Murph to tuck his shirt in.
Umpire Riley has given some hand signals to the home plate umpire. I never understood exactly what those
There's
were
a lot
all
of
about.
them, more than you would think. That pitch swung on a miss, so a strikeout for Murph for the first out here in the 5th. his 7th strikeout. There really are a lot of signals between the base umpire and the home plate umpire. The infield fly signal to let each other know that it's in effect. If a ball goes in the dirt on strike 3, there's a signal for that, and a lot of them that I don't know about either. But there are constantly hand signals between the 2 umpires. It's kind of interesting if you kind of watch their communication with each other.
Umpire Riley is right in my line of view here, so I'm watching a lot of his hand signals. That's why I was asking, wondering what they mean. But obviously there has to be communication between the 2 of them, and if they can't yell or talk freely, hand signals are the way to communicate.
Romero Bond, the pitcher now, the hitter now. That pitch was called a ball. Maybe a little high, not where he catches it, as we often say. It's where it crosses the plate.
And a good catcher, of course, to try and frame that pitch, bring it in or down or out.
There's a line drive foul. Right over to third base and almost hitting the runner, Sanchez. 2-2. Now to Romero Bond, the shortstop. Melo's a good-looking ball player. He made a nice couple plays at short. Bats third in the lineup. Looks like one of their better hitters. That one popped up behind home plate, foul and out of play. Count remains at 2-2 to Romero Bond. On deck is the pitcher, Dare Pagnano. Pitch high. 3-2. And that pitch in the dirt. So a walk for Bond puts runners at first and third for Hamilton with 1 out, and that'll bring up Dare Pagnano, who is pitching now. Now Hamilton has runners at first and third. We'll see what Coach Dwyer elects to do with his base runners. He's down 6 runs. Runner goes, pitch, and therefore a call strike. Peekskill electing not to throw down. Second and third now. That pitch off the glove, runner coming home, and he will score. And the throw gets away, but Bond will stay at third. So Hamilton scores their second run on the wild pitch off the glove of Guzman. So Hamilton with a runner at third now and 1 out. They have a run in here. It makes the score 7-2. Top of the 5th. Anthony Murphy still on the mound for Peekskill. Will go from the stretch. That one fouled off. 1-2 now to Dare Pagnano. Peekskill still playing the infield back. Need to get an out here again. The run won't hurt. Just a 1-2. Change up in the dirt. Got him. Ball gets away. Throw to first is down the line. So that's going to let a run score. So Guzman did a good job of blocking the pitch, but made the bad throw, allowing the run to score, eliminating the strikeout. Makes the score 7-3 now.
So scoring that in the book, would that go down as a strikeout and an error, or so it would count as a strikeout for Murph?
Counts as a strikeout and an error on the catcher on the throw down to first, allowing the batter, who was struck out, to reach second base now. So score is now 7-3. That's a killer. I just always know as a pitcher or a catcher, when you get a strikeout and then aren't able to get the out because of the pitch in the dirt.
I remember that with my 2 boys, both pitchers. They were very frustrated when things like that happen, errors and mistakes all over the field, but they got to keep their head together. Murph's got to keep his head together and get these outs. He had been in a pretty good rhythm there.
He had the strikeout. Was his 8th strikeout. It counts as a strikeout. But he's got one out and a runner here at second. They still lead by 4. Runner trying to steal third, and it gets past the third baseman, and he's going to score. So an ugly run.
An overall ugly inning so far. I hate to say it,
Hamilton.
but just too many balls going the wrong directions.
Throw was in the dirt, not able to be blocked by Gucciardo, and the batter, or the runner, scores a run who was struck out. Now he ends up scoring. So it's 7-4, nobody on. And we're trying to get the count together here. Hugo Ortiz is the batter, nobody on, 1 out, 2 runs in, 3 runs in rather. That pitch swung on a miss. So another strikeout for Murph for the second out of the inning.
Now at the plate for Alexander Hamilton, number 6, first baseman Gino Gutierrez, number 6.
Gutierrez steps in, 1 strike to him. That pitch low, 1-1.
Checking down the bullpen. Looks like someone is warming up in the Peekskill bullpen. I was wondering about
Yeah, Murph's pitch count's
pitch count, right? How high it is and what Coach Salem will accept as high.
Pitch inside.
Because I know for sure when my son Brian was pitching and his pitch count was high and Coach said you're coming out, Brian would argue, no, I'm not coming out. So I'm sure Murph would rather not come out, but there's someone warming up down there.
That pitch swung on a miss for the strikeout. So Murph actually strikes out 4 in the inning. Strikes out the side, but not before Hamilton scores 3 runs. And at the end, or in the middle of the 5th, it's Peekskill 7, Alexander Hamilton 4.
And a 4.5 to score. Peekskill 7, Alexander Hamilton 4. Scheduled to hit for your Red Devils. In the bottom of the 5th, Jared Gilio, Alfonso Gordine, and Niles Jacob.
9 strikeouts for Murph. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. And Jared Gilio will lead it off for Peekskill. Rough inning there. When you strike a guy out and he ends up scoring. And we take a look at Porky's Place, the road sign, which leads you into the parking lot in right field here at Peekskill Stadium, named after Gary Porky Mail, who passed away a few years ago. And Porky, as we mentioned on the last broadcast, was a staple of high school athletics here at Peekskill, down here at the stadium all the time. Was one of the gentlemen who would open the stadium, close the stadium at night, turn the lights on, turn the lights off, turn the sprinklers on during the game, turn them off when they went on during the game, and also was involved with the high school basketball team. Just anything that needed to be done for Peekskill High School athletics. Porky was the guy who took care of it. And when he passed, the city named the roadway into the parking lot Porky's Place, and actually the equipment closet up at the high school was named after Porky and called Porky's Pen. So Gary Porky Mail, always remembered here at Peekskill Stadium.
And his son, was it Gary as well?
Gary PJ for
right,
Porky Jr.
Right. He actually coached the varsity boys baseball team for a year or two. I remember he was our Coach Dwyer. My son Sean, Coach Dwyer's coach when Sean was a senior.
PJ works down here at the stadium quite often, working on the field. That pitch swung on a miss by Jared Gilio, leading off the 5th here for Peekskill. Their lead has been trimmed to 7-4 now, with those 3 runs by Hamilton. Back in the top of the 5th. So it's Jared, Alfonso, and then back to the top for Niles. Here in the 5th for Peekskill. They lead 7-4. Trying to get those runs back. And there is someone warming up in the bullpen. Fouled up into the screen by Jared. I always tell PJ, I said, when I'm retired, I want to be Porky. think about it. You're at a game all the time. You're at a field. You're always doing something involved. That was Portland. Pitch high. 1-2 now to Jared.
And as you pointed out, not just here at the baseball field, but he was also up there with the basketball teams.
And the football games.
And the football games as well, yeah.
Talk to any of the coaches or athletic director Lou Panzanero. He was just one of those guys who just took care of everything. And a ground ball, base hit up the middle for Jared to lead off the fifth here for Peekskill. And that'll bring up Alfonso Gordine. He's got a cheering section back there. I'm sure it's his cousin, Xavier.
Alfonso Gordine.
Some of his friends. Alfonso's been up twice and struck out twice. So he's up here with a runner at first. Nobody out.
It does seem a very vocal, though somewhat small crowd here at the stadium tonight.
Throw over. Not in time.
As you said, the lights automatically coming on at 7:30. Sprinklers 6:15. We got to remember that for the next game.
Another throw over. Not in time.
But it's early enough in the season, and I don't know whether it's the booth here is air conditioned or what, but I think we're probably getting a little bit chill outside with that sun going down.
Runner goes, pitch in the dirt. Jared will have the base stolen without a throw. So he's down in scoring position now for Alfonso, and the top of the order after him. Peekskill trying to get back some of those runs they gave up at the top of the inning. Pitch outside. 2-0. Alfonso Gordine, the batter, playing left field tonight for Peekskill. Jared Gillio on second. There's a fly ball to center field. Going back is Machado underneath it. Makes the catch. Jared halfway to third and then back. So a good piece for Alfonso.
Now at the plate for your Devils, number 27, center fielder Nihilus Jacob. Number 27.
But Machado settling underneath it for the first out. 1 out now for Nihilus. Nihilus has scored 2 runs today. First pitch in there for a strike. Curveball on the outside part. Struck out, walked, and reached on an error. There's a grounder to the right side. De Leon bobbles and won't have a play. Jared crosses over to third, so the error on the second baseman allows Peekskill to have runners at first and third with 1 out. Ground ball, not a hard play, just kind of hit him in the shin.
At the plate for your Devils, number 24, shortstop Jamie Lenn.
Here's Jamie Lent now, trying to pick up a RBI here. Jared at third, Nihilus at first. Jamie has singled, doubled, and struck out in 3 at-bats. Scored twice. Throw over, not in time. See if Coach Salem has Nihilus on the move here. 7-4, Peekskill leads Hamilton here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That pitch low, runner goes, throw goes down, and not in time. So they elected to throw down. Looked like maybe a half of a cutoff play.
Yeah, it seemed to be that was their attempt.
But Jared, Jared holding still at third. So Peekskill gets the runners to second and third. You see quite a different options that you can do there. You know, here's a throw over to third. Jared gets back. Throw almost went wild. But Jamie has runners in scoring position now at second and third with 1 out here in the 5th. That pitch high. 2-0. Good hitting position for Jamie here. 2-0 count. For a call strike, 2-1. And that's a situation where he's in the hitter's position. Not a good pitch to hit at 2-0, even though it was a strike. You get a better one. That one on the inside corner, 2-2 now to Jamie. So 2 good pitches by Pagnano. One on the outside corner, one on the inside. Evens the count up at 2-2 to Jamie. Runners at second and third and 1 out. And that pitch swung on and missed. So a big strikeout for Pagnano. Gets Jamie for the second out. Little curveball breaking
Nice
down.
pitch
Nice
for that
pitch.
strikeout.
All right, here's Anthony Murphy now.
And
Runners
for
at
the
second and
Devils,
third
number
and
25,
2 out.
pitcher Anthony Murphy, number 25.
Murph can help his own cause here. That pitch out on the outside corner. 1 strike. There's a fly ball to left center field in the gap. Machado and Ortiz, and it's against the wall. Will drive in 2 runs. Murph in with a double and a 2-run double to make the score 9-4 now. Big hit for Murph there. Went with the pitch, drove it to left center field.
Now at the Papio Devils, number
Curveball
21,
toward the
pitcher
outside part.
Lisandro Guzman, number 21.
In the gap and up against the wall. So Murph with the double drives in 2.
From my vantage point here, Dick, sorry, I couldn't see where that ball was going, but watching those outfielders just turn and run towards the fence, got an idea that it was going over their heads, and I wasn't sure if I needed to pull out that home run call again.
I was looking. It's a little dark up here to see out onto the field, and I didn't know if it was going over the fence or not. I was ready for you. Here's Lisandro Guzman now. Peekskill now leads 9-4. Big double for Murph. Murph with his 3rd hit of the game. That pitch outside. 2-0 throw gets away, but no advance. Dario Pagnano on the mound for Hamilton. They trail Peekskill 9-4. Hamilton with 2 wins this year. Peekskill with 1. That 1 win against Hamilton. That pitch outside. So Guzman walks. That puts runners at first and second here in the 5th now for John Guicciardo.
At the Papio Devils, number 2, third baseman John Guicciardo, number 2.
John is grounded out, popped out, and walked. Throw over to second. Not in time.
That was one of those plays.
An awkward
That-
throw, kind of spinning.
Yes,
and
looked
throwing.
very awkward. That's what I think might have confused Murph a little bit. But again, referencing
Pitch in there for a strike to John. 9-4, Peekskill leads Hamilton. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning, Peekskill Stadium. Runners go, throw down to third, not in time. Murph steals third, and Guzman on the backside steals second. So a double steal for the Red Devils. They have runners at second and third now with 1 out. Trying to add to their lead. Good throw by the catcher, but Murph had that one stolen easily. Good opportunity now for Guicciardo. Well, that one behind him. Murph's going to come home. Throw. Safe. Not in time. Ball got away, actually.
the umpire seemed to have a little bit of difficulty trying to find that ball, if it was in the catcher's glove or not. And it
Pitch
seems
way
like
behind.
Anthony Murphy pointed it out for him so he could make the correct call.
There you see the throw home. Murph had it beat anyway. But the pitcher, he's looking for, everybody's looking for the ball.
And Murph points out to the umpire that it's over there. Umpire's safe.
So Murph scores, making it 10-4. Guzman moves to third on the wild pitch. A ball kicked back quickly to catcher Val Ortiz. And he flipped to the pitcher Pagnano. The throw wouldn't have been in time anyway. I didn't think he had a chance. I thought Murph had crossed the plate. But the ball was
I'm not sure if the ball
down.
didn't even hit Murph somewhere. If it went
It
off
may have.
the glove or whether it hit him in the back. But the umpire and the catcher and pitcher had trouble finding it.
So he might have got injured covering home plate there. You see umpire Kevin Riley calling out Coach Bill Dwyer. He went to cover the plate. Oh, he got spiked in the shin. Yeah, Ray Glassoff up here with us tonight. Hey, Ray.
Thanks.
How you doing? Caught a spike in the shin. And it looks like Pagnano may have to come out of the game. Yeah, he got a pretty good cut there on his shin, so he's going to come out. And here we take
Mike's
a look
going to
at
bring it up again for us so we can take a look. Behind the batter, does come back very quickly to the catcher, who flips to Pagnano, who it is in his glove, and it just comes out of his glove as Murph barrels into him a little bit. And there, Murph's
right into the shin.
His left spike went right into his shin.
So we'll see what Coach Dwyer wants to do here. I don't know whether he can stay in the game. I don't know there's a blood rule or
I was just going to say,
that.
back when I was coaching, and you see it a lot in basketball as well, that if there's blood on the jersey or blood in the exposed, that player should not be allowed to come back in, I don't think, until certainly it's been cleaned up and stopped. Which we look at the dugout there, it looks like Coach Dwyer is looking for some sort of bandage in his medical kit and came up with something there.
He's going to wrap him up with a little pre-tape. And we'll have to see whether Coach Dwyer wants to go to another pitcher or whether Pagnano will stay in the pitch or even stay in the game at all. It looks like he's going to stay in the game somewhere.
He's certainly patching him up enough to have him stay in. But going back, I was trying in my mind to reference John Egan. I couldn't come up with that name quickly enough, but we always talk about John Egan and that play where the pitcher turns and throws to second. He hated it. He said it never works that time. Had he been here, I said, wow, it almost worked.
No, he would have been adamant. I don't like that play. No, I know oftentimes the throw goes into center field, runner advances, and sometimes scores. So it's a play that you have to work on, you have to practice in order to get the timing down with the shortstop or second baseman, whoever's coming. So he's coming back out. So Pagnano, you can see the bandage on his shin there. You can see it leaking through his sock there. And he's going to take a couple pitches, see how he feels, and be ready to get back at it. But a run is in. 3 runs in the inning. Peekskill now leads 10-4 as Pagnano takes a couple of warm-ups. Kevin Riley asks him if he's okay. And this is the anniversary. Mike just mentioned Willis Reed. This is the anniversary of the Willis Reed limping onto the court game. Knicks won their championship in 1970, on this day in 1970. Here's a fly ball to center field.
Wow, that is a good poke.
And over the head of the center fielder Machado, a run will score. And Guicciardo will stop at second with a double. So a deep fly ball to center field. Brandon Machado, who was pitching earlier in the game, went back and couldn't get a beat on it. And over his head, an RBI double for Guicciardo. Makes the score 11-4 now, as Guzman scores from third.
For Rio Devils, number 15, first baseman Chris Melendez.
Here's
number
Chris
15.
Melendez now.
I remember listening to that Willis Reed game on the radio at home. In fact, my brother Bill, who we've referenced several times, was actually at that game.
Wow.
It was a pretty exciting time, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you a nice story in between innings about that game and that day. First pitch to Melendez is foul back, 2 outs. 4 runs in for Peekskill here. They lead 11-4. Guicciardo at second. Chris Melendez, the hitter. Dare Pagnano on the mound for Hamilton. Patched up his shin. That curveball in there for a strike. 0-2 now. Cortez on deck. Here's a ground ball to short. Bond fields, throws in the dirt and past first baseman. Another run will score, and Melendez will go to second. So Bond fielded it nicely, but his throw was in the dirt, not able to be handled by Gutierrez, and another run will score. Makes it 12-4. Hard ground ball by Melendez. Bond fields it to his left. Steps and throws, but in the dirt and past first baseman.
And you see
Melendez goes
Peekskill
down to
coach
second.
Sean Dwyer on first base there making the call. It seems like Peekskill coaches like to take the role of umpire.
I think
though it
most
is
coaches
unofficial.
like to take the role of umpire. Here's Cortez now trying to pick up Melendez at second. 12-4 Peekskill leads now. They've scored 5 in the inning. Here's a ground ball to short again. Bond fields. Throws this time high and past the first baseman. And Melendez will score. Cortez safe on the error. So rough inning for shortstop Bond. First one in the dirt. Second one too high. Another run scores. Makes it 13-4. Cortez reaches on the error. And here's Jared Gilio, who led off the inning.
At the plate for your Devils, number 7, second baseman Jared Gilio, number 7.
Jared, the 10th batter of the inning. Cortez is at first with 2 out. Jared 1 for 3, 1 run scored. That pitch in the dirt, and Cortez will go down to second. Two-out runner at second. Bottom of the fifth. Peekskill leads 13-4. They've scored 6 here in the fifth. That pitch a little low. 3-0. See if Coach Salem gives Jared the green light at 3-0. He is swinging. Took a big cut and missed. 3-1 to Jared Gilio. Jared played in the Peekskill Little League. He said before, played football for Peekskill this year also. That pitch in there for a call. Strike 2. 3-2 now.
Just below us, I saw Connor Terrell and Jason Santana. It looked like they were heading off. I don't know if Connor would come into the game having pitched yesterday.
That pitch outside for ball 4. Cortez goes to third. So Jared on for his second time in the inning. Cortez moves to third on the wild pitch. Here's Alfonso. Up for his second time in the inning. He flew out to center field his last time
Number
up.
8, outfielder Alfonso Gordin, number 8.
Jared on at first. Cortez on at third with 2 outs here in the fifth. Throw over. Not in time. Cortez holding at third. Pitch in there for a strike. 1-1. 0-1 rather. To Alfonso Gordin. High 1-1. Nihilus on deck. 13-4. Peekskill with a 9-run lead here, scoring 6 in the fifth. That pitch way outside. Runner coming home. Cortez slides in safely, so he scores. And Jared moves down to second. 14-4 now. Peekskill leads. We don't know whether Panyallen was bothered by that injured leg. That pitch was way outside. Runner at second now with 2 out. Alfonso, the 11th batter of the inning. fly ball to deep left field. Ortiz goes back, and it's in the corner up against the wall. So Gilio will score. Alfonso pulls into second with a double and an RBI. Might be. I don't want to say that's Alfonso's first hit, but somebody just yelled out, "It's about time." There you get a good look. One hop to the wall. Actually fielded by Ortiz on one hop, but an RBI double for Alfonso. So big hit for him. He's only a freshman. He'll be around for a few more years. He's a good ball player. Here's Nihilus Jacobs now. I'll score 3 runs so far today. 15-4 Peekskill leads. They've broken it open. Here's a fly ball to center. And Machado underneath it and makes the catch to retire the side. So big inning for the Red Devils. They score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 runs.
5 innings played, Peekskill.
And at the end of 5, they lead Alexander Hamilton 15-5.
Brandon Machado, Zachary Washington, and Douglas Diliano.
And it looks like Anthony Murphy might be heading back out to the mound, but he meets Coach Salem at the first baseline.
Coach
And
gave him
see
a little
where he
fist pound.
heads.
So
And it looks like maybe Jamie Lint is heading towards the mound. And past it.
oh, actually,
And
looks
it's
like
Connor Terrell coming out.
Okay, so Connor Terrell will pitch in relief of Anthony Murphy. Murph goes to center. And it looks like
Did Nihilus move to left? 27 is Nihilus moving
Nihilus
to left.
moves to left, and Connor will replace Alfonso in the lineup. I think that's what will happen. So Connor is one of the seniors this year, right-handed pitcher, and I guess he pitched a little bit yesterday.
That was my impression from Coach Schoendweier that Connor was the pitcher of record yesterday, so perhaps he didn't pitch enough pitches.
Well, I
Pitching
guess,
2 days in a row, is that usual?
It's a little unusual. I don't know how much he pitched yesterday, but maybe he didn't throw too many yesterday. That's, you know, there's no pitch count. That's up to coach on what he wants to do. But Connor strictly from the stretch, and ever since he's been 9 or 10 years old, he'll just get it and throw it. He throws strikes. Looks like he's added a little bit of a curveball since we've seen him in Little League. We did see him last year on one of our broadcasts, I believe. Pitched an inning, but Connor's come a long way, and he's turned himself into a pretty good player. So he'll pitch in relief of Murphy here. It's 15-4. We move to the top of the 6th inning, and Brandon Machado, who is now playing center field, will lead it off for Hamilton. As we said, Murph will move to center, and Nihilus to left as Connor replaces Alfonso in the lineup. So this is our second broadcast. We've got another one coming up next week, next
Friday, Ossining will be coming to Peekskill. Another Dwyer reunion.
That's right, yeah.
My nephew Michael and Sean Dwyer's cousin,
So
Michael Dwyer, will be coaching the
the
Ossining.
third Dwyer coach that we'll have on the air here. How about that? Sean, Bill Dwyer, and then Mike Dwyer.
And then if all goes well, our youngest boy, Brian Dwyer, who's coming home from college on Sunday from Cortland as the communication major, maybe we could coerce him to come into the booth and join us next Friday as well, if that's okay with Mike.
Brandon Machado now 2-1. Pitch in there for a strike. 2-2 now to Brandon Machado. Connor Terrell on relief of Anthony Murphy. Anthony struck out 9 batters. Actually struck out 4 last inning. Three and 2 now. And that pitch in the dirt. So a walk for Machado to lead off the 6th here for Hamilton. that will bring
Now
up
at the plate,
Zachary
Alexander
Washington.
Hamilton. Number 7, right fielder Zachary Washington, number 7.
So same situation as we spoke about before. Peekskill with an 11-run lead. Connor just needs to throw strikes, get some outs, let his fielders make some play, and really that's what Connor does. He just kind of pumps it in there. He was on Coach Bill Zaboris's rotary team, and that was what he would do. He would just come in and throw it right down the middle. Didn't throw real hard, but he got outs. Often was kind of a closer for Bill. That pitch swung on a miss by Washington and struck out by Connor for the first out.
Now at the plate, for Alexander Hamilton, number 1, second baseman Douglas DeLeon, number 1.
Douglas DeLeon now, the second baseman. Connor's having a tough time keeping his pockets and shirt tucked in. One out here. Runner at first base. Pitch outside. One and 0 to DeLeon. One out. Runner at first. Top of the 6th. Pitch in there for a strike. That pitch in there for a strike. There it is, just pumping it right down
I was just
the
going to
middle.
say, we can clearly see exactly what you're saying. Gets the ball, winds up, and throws strikes.
Here's a grounder back at third, foul. Count stays at 1-2 to Douglas DeLeon. DeLeon has walked and struck out so far tonight. Machado on at first with 1 out. He drew a walk to lead off the inning. You get a good look at DeLeon, left-handed batter. And that pitch in there for a call, strike 3. Nice pitch by Connor on the outside corner for his second strikeout. Get a good look at it right on that outside corner. Got a little bend on that ball. Developed a little curve ball.
Now at the plate for Alexander Hamilton, number 3, third baseman Samuel Sanchez, number 3.
There's Sam Sanchez, the leadoff hitter for Hamilton. Grounded out, struck out, and doubled and scored back in the 5th. Pitch in there for a strike, 1-1. Ray, were you at the game yesterday, Peekskill Hen Hud? Hen Hud won 15-0. Here's a throw down to second. Ooh, not in time. Good throw by Lisardro. But Machado able to steal the bag. Close play at second. Throw a little high, get his foot in there. We're referencing yesterday's game, and Hen Hud won 15-0.
15-0, right?
And I think Connor may have pitched. And as we mentioned earlier, if he kind of gets it and throws it down the middle, some better hitters on the Hen Hud team that we saw in our broadcast last Tuesday obviously took advantage of some of those pitches that Connor threw. But in this situation, it's just what you want. You're winning by 11. Throw strikes. 3-2 now with 2 out to Sam Sanchez. And that pitch in the dirt for ball 4. So Sanchez draws a walk. First and second now with 2 out.
Now batting, number 5, catcher for Alexander Hamilton, Daniel Valley Ortiz, number 5.
Here's Valle Ortiz, Dan Valle Ortiz, the catcher for Hamilton. Has walked and struck out twice. Connor needs to go back to that fastball, pump it in there. That one inside, 1-0. That in there for a strike, 1-1. Swung on a miss. 1-2 to Dan Valle Ortiz. Connor Terrell on in relief of Anthony Murphy. And Murphy did a nice job, struck out 9. There's a slow curve, got him. Ball gets away. Throw down. In time. Nice play by Chris Melendez. Good job by Lizardo Guzman to stay with it, and a nice scoop by Melendez to get the runner at first. So a 3-strikeout inning for Connor. Worked around 2 walks. He strikes out 3.
5.5 innings of play.
It's 12 total for the Peekskill pitchers.
Alexander Hamilton 4.
And Peekskill leads 15-4 at the end of 6.
Anthony Murphy and Sandro Guzman.
So we see that, as these guys come up to bat, many former players from Peekskill Polo Little League, and we're into our 53rd season, had opening day about a month ago, and
Baltimore 5-0.
we honored the
Carlos Beltran with a 2-run
1985 District 20 champions of the Peekskill Polo Little League. That team won the district championship. Some of the members of the team were there on opening day. P.J. Mail and Sam Piamonte, who Mike was referencing earlier. Pete Diak. Rob Earl was on that team, and Nick Sacalario, who's actually one of our coaches in Little League now. He has his 2 boys playing. So that was one of, we think 3 teams that won a district championship from Peekskill Polo Little League. So it was the 30th anniversary for the 1985 team. And we also honored Eugene Finnegan, who volunteers with us every year and does our coaches' medical training at the beginning of the year. And also the Road Knights Auto Club of Peekskill for their 25-plus years of sponsorship. So it was a great opening day, and Little League is alive and well in Peekskill. Our numbers are small compared to what they were a while back, but a lot of leagues are down. Baseball is numbers are down in a lot of the towns in the area, but we got T-ball, minor leagues, and majors going. So far, so good.
So far, so good. I'm not sure if we have a new pitcher in here, and if Mike can give us an idea. Number 3, is that the same guy that was throwing before?
No, I don't think so. All right,
This is Samuel Sanchez pitching now. Okay, thank you, Mike. And it looks like Machado might have moved over to third, if I'm seeing my fielders correctly. And then where Payano went, I'm not sure if he's in the outfield again.
Assume he went back to center.
Number 24.
We'll find out. Something goes out there, we'll find out. We're assuming Payano went back to center field from the mound. Sanchez goes from third to the mound, and Machado, who started the game on the mound for Hamilton, is now at third base. Jamie Lynn's going to lead it off here in the 6th for Peekskill. They lead 15-4. Sanchez first pitch in there for a strike. Sanchez throws hard. Right-handed pitcher, played third base earlier in the game. Here's a fly ball to right center field. Washington over and can't get it. It's over his head. And Lent will get to second with a double and hold there. So leadoff double for Jamie Lent.
That was a nice shot, but I'm not sure if the right fielder there lost it in some lights, or it just seemed like it was going to be caught.
Looked like he had a beat on it, came in.
And then it just went over his head.
So he might have lost it in the lights, Washington in right field. Either way, Jamie's at second with nobody out. Here's Anthony Murphy. Here's a fly ball to center. And Pagnano setting under it. Makes the catch on the warning track. Jamie tags and goes to third. So Murph's sending that one to the warning track.
It went high, but too high to go far.
Pitch.
Now at the plate here, Devils number 21, catcher Lisandro Guzman.
There you see Pagnano right on the edge of the warning track. Makes it, but that ball was tailing away too. I noticed it coming off the bat. That left-handed swing tailing away from the center fielder, but he settled under it nicely, made the play. Here's Guzman now with one out and a runner at third. Jamie holds on the pitch in the dirt. 15-4, Peekskill leads. Sam Sanchez, the third pitcher for Hamilton here in the game. Brandon Machado started. Pagnano relieved him, and now Sanchez here in the 6th. That pitch inside, 2-0 to Lisandro Guzman. Chandra has walked 3 times today, scored twice. Pitch in the dirt. Jamie holding. 3-0 now. See if he gets the green light. He's got 3 walks already. I know what he's saying to himself. That pitch high, so Guzman draws his 4th walk of the game. Puts runners at first and third now for Peekskill. And John Guicciardo, the batter.
It seems like Coach Salem is unwilling to pile on a couple of those pass balls. Jamie certainly could have easily made it home, but Coach holding him up so that the score doesn't get too much out of hand. I guess you can never be too far ahead, but...
No, it's probably the right thing to do, though. Up 11. Here's Guicciardo, also not running the runner from first base, holding him at this point, first and third with 1 out. That pitch swung on, foul tipped into the catcher's glove. 0-2. I always felt, too, when you're ahead by that man, let the runner drive the run in. You know, give him a chance for an RBI. If we're going to score the run, let the runner drive him in. You got an 11-run lead. No chance, no reason to try and get home on a pass ball or wild pitch. See if your hitter can drive him in. 0-2 now to John Guicciardo. John has grounded out, flied out, walked, and doubled. Scored a run so far. 1 of 15 for Peekskill. They lead 15-4 over Alexander Hamilton. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. A pitch low. 1-2. Joe DeChristopher and Kevin Dwyer. Mike Miner, Billy Miner, Mike Sabini, Ray Glassoff, Joe Barthemus. All up here in the booth. Nightfall has come here at Peekskill Stadium, as has my phone. That pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. And Guicciardo down on strike, so Sanchez gets the 2nd out here in the 6th. And that'll bring up Chris Melendez, the first baseman for Peekskill.
Number 15, first baseman Chris Melendez, number 15.
2 out here in the 6th. Melendez. Has tripled earlier in the game. Had a big triple, drove in a couple runs. First and third, 2 out. There's a foul ball off the foot of Chris Melendez. Makes the count 0-2. Somebody's leaving me a message. It's probably my wife. Where are you? That's it. Very basic. 0-2. That pitch way wild and in the dirt. No advancement. 1-2.
But your wife was actually in the booth with us earlier.
Yeah, Janine was up here earlier.
Keeping an eye on you, making sure you are where you say you are.
That pitch outside, 2-2. She said, call me when the game is over.
But she also wanted me to remind everyone, happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. This Sunday, of course, the 10th.
Good point.
For all the mothers that are out there.
That pitch high, 3-2 now to Melendez. And that Peekskill Pole Little League, as I think most leagues do. No games on Mother's Day. I'll tell you a story a while. John Egan, who we mentioned before, said a while back in the 90s, they had some makeup games on Mother's Day, and the mothers marched up to the field in protest. And that was it. No more Mother's Day games. Bases loaded now on the walk to Melendez. But I have to remind you to tell you a story about that basketball game. I forgot. I'll bring it up at the end of this half inning. The anniversary of the Knicks' 1970 championship.
Pitcher, Connor Terrell, number 9.
Here's Connor now for his first at-bat. He actually replaces Cortez Burris. Alfonso must have moved to right field. That's what we're guessing. Connor up for his first time. That pitch swung on and missed. 0-2. And swung on and missed for strike 3. Connor is a swinger, that's for sure. He goes up there and gets his hack. He strikes out to retire the side, and at the end of 6 innings, no runs for Peekskill in that inning, but they leave Alexander Hamilton 15-4 as we move to the top of the 7th. So I have to tell you, and Ray, maybe you remember, May 8th, 1970, and the Knicks won the championship, and Willis Reed comes out. And I heard a lot of people talk today about listening to the game on the radio. It was on tape delay, wasn't on live TV because it was a home New York game. But cable had just come to Peekskill at that time, and we watched that game on Channel 8 out of Connecticut live when the Knicks beat the Lakers. And the funniest thing about it was watching the Knicks in white uniforms. You never saw them in white because the home games were never on TV. So Willis limps out to warm up, and all the Lakers stop watching, and Willis hits a couple of free throws in practice and hits the first 2 shots of the game, and that was it. Knicks won easily. Well, Frazier scored 36, 19 assists, and Willis still won the MVP. Clyde said I should have been the MVP, but they gave it to Willis, right? So this is the anniversary of the 1970.
And I wasn't as lucky as you were. I was one of those ones listening on the radio, which I guess was lucky enough. But having seen it live on TV, that must have been something.
Yeah, it was. I remember watching the news early in the day, Channel 8 News, and they announced that we will have the game on cable television. So it was exciting. It was to watch Willis, and it really was unbelievable. He could barely walk, dragging his leg. Marv Albert's call. Actually, no. You know who it was? It was Chris Schenkel, because it was Channel 7 doing it. Marv was on the radio. Marv had done the radio, but it was Chris Schenkel and Jack Twyman doing the game for Channel 7. Here comes Willis out of the tunnel, right? Unbelievable. All right, we're going to move to the 7th now. Connor Terrell on the mound for Peekskill. Murph moves to first base.
Number 13, shortstop Romello Bond, number 13.
And Alfonso's in left. Not sure where Melendez is. He's probably in center.
Looks like he's at second.
Oh, he's at second. That's Jared.
Oh, it is.
With
Okay.
the long locks, as does Chris Melendez. I think Chris might be in center. It's hard to tell. 1-1 now to Romello Bond, the shortstop for Alexander Hamilton. Connor Terrell in relief. Pitch swung on and missed. 1-2. Bond has 1 run scored tonight. 15-4. Peekskill with a comfortable lead. Connor Terrell throws that big curve in there for a call, strike 3. So Connor Terrell gets his 4th strikeout. He's pitched to 5 batters and struck out 4. Big curveball for Connor. He didn't have that in Little League. He's developed that, as we mentioned.
Number 8.
There's pitch high, 1-0 to Dare Pagnano, who was injured on a play at home plate. Stayed in the game, got spiked by Murph. That pitch a little high also. 2-0 now. Here's the curveball in for strike 1. 2-1. Pitch in there for a strike. 2-2. And that pitch high. That was ball 4. So Connor walks. Pagnano, that's Connor's 2nd walk. Go along with his 4 strikeouts. 1 out, 1 on here in the top of the 7th. 15-4. Peekskill leads Alexander Hamilton. Peekskill looking for their 2nd win of the year and their 2nd win over Hamilton. First pitch to Hugo Ortiz in there for a strike. Pitch high, throw into center field high by Guzman. And Pagnano goes all the way to 3rd. So Guzman with the errant throw to 2nd. Runner at 3rd. Count is 1-1. 1 out to Hugo Ortiz. Here's a chopper toward third. Guicciardo throws in time. Nice play by John Guicciardo. Murph with the nice stretch. Run scores. But the key here is getting outs. Nice play. Carter cutting it off. Strong throw to first. Murph with a nice stretch to get the out. 2 down now, so Hamilton down to their last out. Gino Gutierrez, the hitter. Connor Terrell on the mound. First pitch is outside, ball 1. Gutierrez has walked and struck out twice so far tonight. Pitch in there for a strike. Pitch swung on a miss, 1-2. That one in the dirt. 2-2. Connor Terrell trying to finish it up here for Anthony Murphy. Murph went 5, struck out 9. Connor in his second inning of relief. And that pitch in there for a call, strike 3. So Connor Terrell finishes it off for the Red Devils. He strikes out 5 in 2 innings. Murph struck out 9. And Peekskill with the 15-5 victory here on senior night. So good job by the Red Devils. Had their hitting shoes on and get their second win of the year.
It was an excellent combination of Murph and Connor to basically hold Hamilton to those 5 runs. We can all call our families now and tell them that we're on our way home. And the second victory for Peekskill. Coach Salem had suggested to me that I think they have another home game early next week. He thought maybe we'd be doing TV again, but next time we're on with the Miners and Mike Sabini and you, Dix, will be next Friday.
Next Friday,
15th
versus Ossining. So
Ossining 4:30 game.
I work in Ossining and have a few of the kids on the team on my route. Told me they're around 500. They're a pretty good squad, so it should be a good game. But Peekskill victorious tonight, 15-4. Behind the pitching of Anthony Murphy and finishing up Connor Terrell doing a great job, striking out a total of 14 batters. A lot of hitting going on. Murph with a couple hits, a triple, a couple doubles. Jamie with a couple big hits, Guzman, and also Chris Melendez. So a good job by the Red Devils. They get their second win. Good for them. They'll be feeling good about it over the weekend. And we'll be with you again next week versus Ossining. This is Joe DeChristopher, and for Mike Miner, Billy Miner, Kevin Dwyer, Mike Sabini, Joe Barthemus, Ray Glassoff, everybody up here. Until next time, thank you and good night.